Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 69 of 71 in this 2017 USPBL regular season. I'm Rich Borland. Today is a big day for both the 26 and 24 Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the 25 and 25 Utica Unicorns as they play for the final time in this 2017 regular season. Coming into today's game, the Hoppers trailed the first place Beavers by a game and a half after losing last night to the Westside Woolly Mammoths in a nail-biter 3-2. Unfortunately for them, with just 2 games left to the Beavers' 1, the Beavers have clinched first place outright and will play in the championship on September the 10th. Even if the Hoppers win today and in Game 71 on Thursday versus the Mammoths, and if the Beavers lose tomorrow to the Unicorns, they would still have identical records. With all of that being said, the Beavers own the season series 9-7 and therefore own the season series tiebreaker. In this 23rd meeting of the season between these two, the Hoppers and the Unicorns have won 13 meetings to the Hoppers' 9. The Unicorns currently sit just 1 game behind the Hoppers, as this game will possibly be for second place overall, with the Beavers already clinching the top spot last night. Donnie Murray and Devin Alexander will face off here today in this crucial battle, and as well as Murray has pitched this year, the Unicorns are trying to take advantage of a big opportunity here today versus the Hoppers, who are coming off that tough loss last night to the last place Westside Woolly Mammoths. Let's quickly give you some numbers between the two men on the mound today. As for Devin Alexander, versus the Unicorns this season, he has pitched in 10 total games, had made 3 starts, and in those 10 total appearances, he's got a 1-2 record in 31.2 innings pitched. In those innings, he's given up 16 earned runs on 23 hits, while the strikeout to walk ratio pretty good for the left-hander, 16 walks to 29 Ks on the season versus the Utica Unicorns. Meanwhile, Donnie Murray, the man on the mound for the Unicorns today, the man who threw a no-hitter last season, trying to possibly have his biggest start of his entire career at the USPBL, as they are still fighting for second place. Donnie Murray in his season against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers today, making his 6th appearance and 6th overall start. He's got a 3-0 record versus the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in 28 innings pitched, and in those innings, he's given up 12 earned runs on 24 hits and another pretty great strikeout to walk ratio. On the season for Donnie Murray out of Holy Cross, he's got 9 walks to 28 strikeouts on the year. Let's give you these lineups that will be facing off against the 2 starting pitchers for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers against Donnie Murray today. Leading off, playing shortstop out of Rappahannock Community College, number 7, Ricky Castro. Batting second, playing center field, number 10, out of Adrian College, the hometown kid from Grand Rapids, that is Ian Mikowski. Batting third from right field, number 12, out of Southern Illinois, John Mencken. Batting cleanup at first base, the birthday boy yesterday out of San Jacinto College, number 21, Esteban Gomez. Batting fifth, playing second today for the Diamond Hoppers out of Frostburg State, number 2, Cam Stewart. Batting sixth in the DH hole, number 8, that is Mark Kruger. Batting seventh at third base out of Oklahoma Wesleyan, number 1, Trevor Achenbach. Batting eighth, playing left field out of Coppin State, number 24, John Kraft. And rounding out this Eastside lineup behind the dish today out of Tallahassee, Florida, Kyle Figueroa. As on the other side for the Unicorns that will be facing off today against Devin Alexander out of Sonoma State University, here's how it goes for the 25 and 25 Unicorns. Leading off, playing shortstop out of Cal State Northridge, number 15, Brett Belkin. Batting second, playing second, number 9, out of Farley Dickinson, that is Dylan Sprague. Batting third, playing first base, number 19, out of Tampa, Florida, Willie Martin. Batting cleanup, playing center field, number 8, out of Indiana State University, that's Tony Rosselli. Batting fifth, behind the dish today from Carson Newman University, that is number 5, Greg Jones. Batting sixth, playing third base, is number 10, Bobby Webb. Batting seventh, playing right, out of Cornell University, that's number 4, Chris Cruz. As the designated hitter, number 20, Mike Rampone in the 8th spot, and then Spencer Ibarra out of Ohio University rounds out the Unicorn lineup. He plays in left field today. Let's quickly get you down to the field for the national anthem before we get to first pitch. Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The national anthem rendition getting put down right then and there. Donnie Murray making his way out to the mound. Let's quickly give you his defense that is standing behind him out there on the field as he gets loose. 25-25 Utica Unicorns sitting a game back behind this Eastside Diamond Hopper team in the East Division. Both teams lost their last game. Diamond Hoppers on a 2-game losing streak. Both of these teams 6-4 in their last 10. From left to right in the outfield behind Donnie Murray, that is Spencer Ibarra in left, Tony Rosselli in center, Chris Cruz in right. And then from left to right in the infield, Bobby Webb at third, Brett Belkin at short, Dylan Sprague at second, and Willie Martin over there at first base. A part of Donnie Murray and this battery behind home plate from Carson Newman University, number 5, Greg Jones. Now the lineup that Donnie Murray will face off quickly: Ricky Castro, Ian Mikowski, John Menken, Esteban Gomez, the birthday boy from yesterday, Cam Stewart in the 5-hole, Mark Kruger batting 6th in the DH hole, Trevor Achenbach batting 7th, playing 3rd, John Kraft batting 8th, he's in left, and Kyle Figueroa behind the dish today for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Donnie Murray, if you didn't hear in the pregame show, making his 6th overall appearance and start against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers this season. In those 5 starts, he's got a 3-0 record in 28 innings pitched. And in his time against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers this year, he's given up 12 earned runs on 24 hits, while retiring 28 batters via the strikeout and allowing 9 walks against him this season. Overall, though, for Mr. Murray on the year against everybody in the USPBL, he's got a 6-3 record with a 2.80 ERA. Overall, this is his 20th appearance and start for the Utica Unicorns in the 2017 summer. He's about right at 100 pitches, or excuse me, 100 innings pitched, as he's at 96.1 innings pitched on the year. He has reached the milestone of 100 strikeouts in his last outing, where he had 10 strikeouts on August the 26th in the 3-2 victory. He had thrown 7 innings but did not come out with the win, but a double-digit strikeout outing for Donnie Murray, just his 2nd of his career. And he's still getting loose out there on the mound. But Donnie Murray in the 96.1 innings pitched. He's got 104 Ks, 30 walks, and 72 hits given up in this season. Remember, Donnie Murray had a no-hitter last year. That was back on, let's double-check this real quick. That was back all the way on July the 10th of 2016 against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers on a Sunday matinee game. They won 3-0 in those 9 innings. He had given up just 3 walks, had 7 strikeouts in the game. But like I was mentioning earlier on in the broadcast during the pregame show, this could be the biggest start of Donnie Murray's USPBL career. A lot on the line here today. If the Unicorns pull off the victory, the Hoppers drop to 26-25. The Unicorns up have a 25-25 record and could have potentially move into second place. Still tomorrow, as the first pitch is thrown, it is 1:34 p.m. It is currently 70 degrees here in this great city of Utica, Michigan. Ricky Castro looking at ball 1 to start off his day, and then quickly ball 2 missing in the dirt. Ricky Castro 0 for 5 last night against the Woolly Mammoths. Had 5 balls get caught in the air. Flew out to left field a couple of times and popped out twice in the infield. Castro ahead in the count here, 2-0. The fastball riser not hitting the zone either. Donnie Murray, tell you what, when he's on, but 3 straight pitches, none of them really close to the strike zone here. Murray going to have to take his time to try and get in some sort of groove here today. 3-0 pitch, a fastball missing just outside. It was a borderline pitch right there, but without throwing a strike beforehand, you're not going to get that call to start off this ball game. You have to earn your strike zone as a starting pitcher. And we'll see how long that will take here for Mr. Murray in this one. Unicorns have won 13 of the 22 meetings between these two, and they have outscored the Eastside Diamond Hoppers 144 to 118 times. A lot of games have been even between these two, but anything is possible here on this gorgeous 3rd of September. As we inch closer and closer to the playoffs here in game 69 of 71 of the regular season. Ian Mikowski, after looking at called strike one, looks at ball one. That evens the count up at 1-1 here against Mikowski. Mikowski on the season, batting .221 through 27 games with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He's got 15 hits and 68 at-bats. He's came in to score 18 times while driving in 7 of his own. More of a guy that gets on base and comes in to score opposed to driving runs in. The 1-1 pitch, Mikowski chases after, swings and misses at that changeup thrown by Donnie Murray. Mikowski last night, not a bad night against the Mammoths. 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, a walk, and 2 stolen bases to his credit. Mentioned Mikowski, the speed factor, the biggest part of his game. Batting in that 2-hole here, Paul Nochi and company hoping he can get on base, continue this threat here for the Hoppers after Ricky Castro had looked at 4 straight balls to get on to first base. If you're just joining us here, Donnie Murray on the mound for the Utica Unicorns. Struggled with a 4-pitch walk to Ricky Castro. He's got a 2-2 count here against Ian Mikowski. On the pitch, Ricky Castro going, and possibly a hit-and-run opportunity right there. Mikowski fouling off another one. He stays alive, and Ricky Castro is going to have to trot back over to first base. Castro on the season, 8 stolen bases. He's been caught 5 times. So 8 of 13 on the year for the man out of the Dominican Republic. Currently the only player in this league from outside of the country. Castro, one of the fan favorites from last year, trying to continue his good outing in this USPBL. He's done a good job here so far this afternoon. Mikowski, meanwhile, fouling off another one. And he, just like Ricky Castro, having a good at-bat, but sort of in the total polar opposite way. Castro barely having to even move the bat off his shoulder, looking at 4 straight. Mikowski, meanwhile, he's been fighting here against Donnie Murray. Pitch number 7 of the at-bat coming up. Castro with the fake steal towards second. Now he goes as that ball is taken down the left field line. Castro rounding second. He's coming into third. The left fielder, that was Spencer Ibarra, sort of stumbled once he came in contact with that baseball. And it'll go down in the books as a double here for Ian Mikowski. Would have been a bang-bang play over there at second base, knowing Mikowski's speed. But with that little miscue out there and left, he gets in there without an issue. Still going to give him a double with the speed that he has. So 2 men up, 2 men on here for the Diamond Hoppers in a must-win game for both of these teams. So much on the line. If you're unfamiliar with how the playoff picture will look, as John Mencken now stands in from the right side. Mencken hitless last night, but did reach on a walk as he was over 3 versus the Westside Woolly Mammoths. First pitch he sees, a fastball high and inside, some sweet chin music. He gets out of the way of that one. He's ahead in the count 1-0. But overall, I mentioned the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers secured themselves the first place spot in this 2017 USPBL regular season with the Hoppers losing last night. Beavers automatically into the championship game on Championship Sunday. That would be September the 10th, as John Mencken looks at ball 2 inside here. So the Beavers, I would assume, would start Randy Wynn with all the time they have off. Randy Wynn has been their guy to go to all season long, so they'll wait for him on the Sunday. And then starting off on the 8th, when the playoffs officially start after the final game of the regular season, which falls on next Thursday. Meanwhile, Mencken looking at the 2-0 fastball, called for a strike. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. But so the first game on September the 8th of the playoffs, it'll be the 4th place team, the Westside Woolly Mammoths, versus one of these 2 teams. Whoever comes in 3rd place when it's all said and done, the winner of that game will go on to play one of these 2 teams, the one who comes in 2nd place the following day on that Saturday, and then the winner of that goes on to play the Beavers for the championship and for all the marbles, as John Mencken looks at called ball 3 right there. Mencken on the season, batting .310 through 46 games. He's got 53 hits and 171 at-bats, trying to drive in a couple of runs here He can do that with a base knock. Instead, looks at a ball just missing in the dirt, and Donnie Murray's day has been long thus far. He loads the bases with 2 walks and a double in between them. So clearly not the start that Donnie Murray wanted to have. Let's take a look at how many pitches he's got through the first 3 batters and still no outs. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the first guy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 total pitches against these 3 hitters. And he is still looking for his first out. The beauty of it, there's a force at any bag. So if he can limit the damage, pitch to weak contact, or maybe pitch to no contact, he can possibly get out of this, but still a long ways to go for the right-hander out of Holy Cross. And in fact, Esteban Gomez, the cleanup hitter for the Hoppers in this lineup here today, looking at ball 1. So Murray's going to have to claw back into this at-bat as well. Wind blowing from left to right in the outfield. Gomez looking at a close one out there. A fastball that just missed on the outside corner. And just like that, a meeting will be held at the mound here. Jim Essien heading out to talk with Donnie Murray and his catcher, Greg Jones. This is a spot that Donnie Murray is quite unfamiliar with. He is 3-0 against the Eastside Diamond Hoppers this year, but he didn't start off too well against them early on in the season. Back on May the 20th, he went 4 innings, gave up 4 earned runs in a 6-5 loss. Then after that, the next time he faced him was on July the 15th, where they lost 14-10 to the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, and he only had 3.2 innings pitched. So for as well as he's done all year long, he hasn't pitched that great against the Diamond Hoppers, but as of late, August the 6th, August the 12th, and August the 20th, he had gone at least 5.2 innings in each affair and got 3 victories out of it. So he's pitched well as of late versus this Eastside team, but like I mentioned, in a world of trouble here with the 2-1 count. Soft ground ball hit to the right side. The first baseman, Willie Martin, going to have to come home with it, and he will just in the nick of time. Willie Martin, the man out of Tampa, Florida, heads up play right there is the right-hander. He goes home with it for the force out and gets out number 1. Hoppers off the board still. So a tough break right there for the Diamond Hoppers. As I mentioned, if Donnie Murray can pitch to weak contact, he could possibly get out of this jam. He would be one of the guys that would be able to do it here in this league. After Gomez reaches on the fielder's choice to keep the bases full, 1 out now on the board. Cam Stewart stands in. Cam Stewart leading this Eastside team with a .311 batting average coming into play today. Fastball on the inside corner, called for a strike. Stewart takes a long step out of the box. Seemed to possibly disagree with that one. Stewart in 46 games with the Eastside team. He's got 55 hits and 177 at-bats. He's got the 2nd most hits on the team behind Ricky Castro, who's got 56. The 0-1 pitch is lofted. If it stays in play, it could be catchable. The catcher going to the brick wall behind home plate. And did he come up with it? No, he did not. Oh, and in fact, yes, he did. I take that back. Could not see from my vantage point up here in the broadcast booth. Would you look at that? Cam Stewart got to be upset with himself right there. Pop out to the catcher, Greg Jones, who makes a great play. Completely out of my vision down there to my right, sort of near the on-deck circle. Cam Stewart gets retired there for out number 2 after a walk, a double, and a walk. A fielder's choice and a pop-up to the catcher have recorded the first 2 outs. Mark Kruger stands in now, trying to give the Hoppers their first run of the ball game still. What a feat that would be for Donnie Murray. After allowing the first 3 men to reach, he could possibly get out of this, and definitely going to want to remember this inning if he goes the distance. The 1-0 to Kruger, fastball on the outside half, just missing the zone. So the count now 2-0 on Kruger. Got to remember, bases are still loaded here, so Murray Going to have to really throw a strike right here. Last thing you want to do is go down 3-0 in a count with the bases juiced. Murray, the delivery, fastball on the inner half, fouled off and into the netting here behind home plate. Good swing there from Kruger on the pitch, but could not put the ball in between the lines right there, so the count drops to 2-1. Kruger on the season batting .231 in 32 games with Team Eastside. He's got 24 hits and 104 at-bats. He's came in to score 17 times while driving in 19 of his own on 24 hits this year. The 2-1 pitch to Kruger, fastball inside, called strike by the home plate umpire, Mr. Gary Wagenschutz. Evens it up at 2-2. Diamond Hoppers, who looked to get this one started early, have gotten 2 consecutive outs, and Mark Kruger down to his final strike here. Let's see if Donnie Murray can get out of the jam. 2-2 pitch, base knock up the middle past the diving second baseman Dylan Sprague. In to score is Ian Mikowski. John Mencken slowly follows him, and just like that, the Diamond Hoppers do take advantage here with the bases loaded. So a 2 RBI single for Mark Kruger, the designated hitter, comes up huge with 2 outs and 2 strikes against him. Both Mikowski and Mencken come in to score. Couple of those early walks for Donnie Murray coming back to haunt him. Esteban Gomez goes from first to second. And Kruger standing over there now on first with that 2 RBI base knock. Brings up Trevor Achenbach. Achenbach, meanwhile, takes the first pitch. He sees into left field. Rounding third and trying to score is Gomez. The left fielder throw at the plate. Ibarra cannot get the ball there in time. And in fact, a collision at the plate as well. Down goes Greg Jones as Esteban Gomez comes in, piling right into home plate. Unfortunately for the catcher, Greg Jones, that ball not necessarily getting caught by him at home plate, and the collision right there making it a little extra special right then and there. Esteban Gomez, not the smallest of gentlemen, he's in there to score, and now the Hoppers take the 3-0 lead. So Achenbach with the RBI single. He gets to second base on that throw. Moving over to third was Kruger. Back-to-back RBI singles for the Diamond Hoppers. Gives themselves the 3-0 lead here. John Kraft, meanwhile, the next batter for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He's in left field today. Kraft out of Coppin State. He's got a .239 average through 32 games this season. He's got 22 hits and 92 at-bats with 18 runs scored and 11 RBIs driven in. But he could really break this one open with a 3rd consecutive base hit for the Diamond Hoppers with a couple ducks on the pond. Or as I should say, a couple of hoppers on the lily pads. The swing and miss there on the 1-0 pitch evens the count up at 1-1 against John Kraft. But if you're just joining us here, ladies and gentlemen, a walk, a double, and a walk led off this top of the first inning from Donnie Murray. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed right there against John Kraft. Kraft down in the count 1-2, but after that walk, double, and walk, a fielder's choice out at the plate, recorded the first out. A pop out to the catcher, recorded the second out. Donnie Murray and the Unicorns were possibly about to get out of the jam, but back-to-back singles drive in 3 runs for the Diamond Hoppers here, and that's where we sit. John Kraft awaiting the 1-2 pitch. He hits it high and shallow in the infield. It looks like it's going to be enough to get out of play, and in fact, it did not. Initially, it looked like it was going to get out of the playing field. The third baseman, Bobby Webb, sort of jogged over there. He didn't really sprint to the fence line, and the ball falling back into the dirt, the warning track in front of that Utica dugout down the third base line. Bobby Webb will be coming back to haunt him if John Kraft can put the ball in play and drive in 1 or 2 runs here. Don't forget that one right there, ladies and gentlemen. A big miscue from Bobby Webb. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Good stop from Greg Jones, who, got to imagine, is feeling a little differently than he had about a few minutes ago after that collision at the plate between him and Esteban Gomez. But still a good job. Sharp stop from the catcher from Carson Newman University on that one to keep Mr. Kruger over there at third. Count 2-2. 2 outs on the board. Runners on second and third. The pitch, a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But that one missing high and outside. Donnie Murray sort of releasing that ball a little too early. And because of it, that's where the baseball was released. And now payoff pitch will ensue here. There is an open base, but Donnie Murray is trying to throw the least amount of pitches he can throughout the rest of this one. He has had a lot here so far in this first inning. Payoff pitch, fastball lifted into right field. If it's fair, it's going to be trouble. In fact, it is. A base hit for John Kraft down the right field line. Good enough to bring in 2 runs. The throw from right field, Chris Cruz throws it back to first to try and catch Kraft sleeping on that round on first. But he slides back in safely. A 2 RBI single for the man from Coppin State University. Gives the Hoppers a 5-0 lead. So a real tough break for Donnie Murray. Unicorns were trying to take advantage of the Hoppers, who were coming off that tough loss last night against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. That loss from the Hoppers last night forced the Beavers to become the first place champions of this regular season in 2017. Gives them the push to the championship game on next Sunday. But still, second place up for grabs here in this one. Hoppers, if they win it, they will outright get second place. This ball lifted into center field off the bat of Kyle Figueroa. It's hit out to center field where Tony Rosselli will come up with it. But in the inning, the Diamond Hoppers bat through the order in the top of the first. We head to the home half. The Hoppers lead it 5-0. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to game number 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL regular season. Rich Borland here with you. If you're just joining us, you missed quite a lot in that top of the first inning. Eastside Diamond Hoppers bat completely through their order, get 5 runs on 5 hits in that one. Tough break for Donnie Murray and the Utica Unicorns, but the only good news outside of that is they do have 9 total at-bats left in this ball game, so still a long ways to go. We're not sure how far Donnie Murray will make it, as he threw 36 pitches in that first frame, 19 of them for strikes. And now his counterpart, Devin Alexander, the left-hander, making his start on the mound here. Called strike on the outside corner to Brett Belkin, leads off this home half of the first. Devin Alexander, the left-hander, a 4-2 record on this season, a 3.47 ERA, making his 10th start for this Eastside team and 17th overall appearance. Pitch 2 of the at-bat to Balkin, gets through the legs of the catcher Kyle Figueroa. Nobody on base, though, so no worries right there. On the season, Alexander, 57 innings pitched. He's got 45 strikeouts to his credit while giving up 32 walks and 46 hits on this season. He's got a good start with that 5 padded lead for the Diamond Hoppers, but we'll see how long this one goes today as Brett Balkin starts off the Unicorns on the right foot in the home half of the first. He takes one into right center field for a leadoff single. Three singles and a double for the Diamond Hoppers alongside 2 walks in that first inning. Set the tone early here in this game. But like I mentioned, tons of time for the Unicorns to try and slowly inch their way back into this ball game. Dylan Sprague now standing in for Team Utica. He's out of Farley Dickinson College. The lefty-lefty matchup here in this one. Sprague on the season batting .239 through his first 23 games with this Utica team. He shows bunt on the 1-0 pitch, pulls back, but home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz calling it a strike anyway. The count even at 1-1. The defense playing at normal depth. The third baseman, that is Trevor Achenbach, playing behind the line. Bunt not being shown this time from the batter Dylan Sprague. He looks at ball 2 here in this at-bat. An absolutely gorgeous day here on this September the 3rd. Little wind blowing from left to right field. Meanwhile, Alexander lifting that left leg, going over towards first base, keeping an eye on Brett Balkin, who definitely have to mention this, 12 stolen bases on the season. He's been caught just once, but a tougher task for a base runner facing off against a lefty. As I say that, a base hit taken down the right field line off the bat of Dylan Sprague. The right fielder, that was John Mencken, actually slipped up out there in the corner, and it'll in fact be a double for Dylan Sprague. Runners now on second and third. Unicorns not going out without a fight here in this game number 69.
First baseman, number 19, and section 105, your 1-800-Hanson's player of the game, Willie Martin.
So just like that, 2 singles and 2 at-bats for the Unicorns, looking to shape up possibly a 4-hour game here on this gorgeous Sunday in Utica, Michigan. Willie Martin, the 1-800-Hanson's player of the game for the Utica Unicorns out of Tampa, Florida, now walking up to the batter's box. Willie Martin on the season leading this Utica team with a .311 average through 13 games. He's got 45 at-bats, 14 hits in those at-bats. He's came in to score 12 times while bringing in 14 of his own. He has left the yard twice this season, and he's struck out 7 times as well as reached on balls 7 times as well. There is an open base over there at first, but still no outs here after a single from Brett Balkin, a double from Dylan Sprague. First pitch to Willie Martin in the dirt. Good stop from Kyle Figueroa out of Tallahassee, Florida to keep the runners at bay. So I wasn't sure what I was going to see out of Devin Alexander today. I was expecting a whole lot better outing from Donnie Murray. You wonder how far he'll go. This next pitch, a hard ground ball over to the left side, sort of an in-between hop there, eating up Trevor Achenbach at third base. Got to imagine that'll be an E5 on the board. Run coming in to score is Balkin, and the Unicorns are on the board. Third baseman Achenbach was playing back against Willie Martin right there, and because of it, a couple of those hops sort of completely ate up the man out of Oklahoma Wesleyan. Sprague getting to third base because of it as well, and now runners are on the corners here for the Unicorns in this bottom of the first. Tony Rosselli, the man out of Indiana State University, now coming up to the plate with a good opportunity here for the Unicorns. Devin Alexander with the first pitch to Rosselli, missing just outside with that fastball, coming in at 88 miles an hour out of the left hand. Over there on first base, Willie Martin, no stolen bases to his credit. He doesn't have any caught stealing either. The 1-0 pitch to Rosselli, he flies out and out of play over near those picnic tables down the right field line. Count evens up at 1-1. Rosselli on the season, not the greatest of stats. He's batting an even 200 through 24 games with this Utica team. In 90 at-bats, he's got 18 hits. He's came in to score 19 times while driving in 15 of his own. He hits a hard line drive into right center field, but getting a good beat on it. Ian Mikowski over there to make the catch to his left. but that ball far enough to bring in Dylan Sprague. A sacrifice fly out for Mr. Rosselli drives in the second run of the ball game for the Unicorns here in this one. The runner at first, Willie Martin, stays put. First out on the board here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So 2 runs have came in thus far for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers after giving up 5 in that top half of the frame. Next batter, Greg Jones, who had that collision at home plate with the big fella Esteban Gomez in the top of the first, now stands in for the first time all day at the plate from the left side. He looks at called strike 1 on a curveball to begin his at-bat, and then another curveball coming into Greg Jones. That one at just 68 miles an hour out of the left hand of Mr. Alexander. Jones quickly has found himself in an 0-2 hole. He'll try and have to sit on another pitch and take it the other way here with the runner on first. Last thing you want to do is ground out into a double play here. But the second worst thing right there, some sweet chin music to Greg Jones. He chases after one for the second out of the inning. Bobby Webb now coming up to the plate here. Bobby Webb on the season, batting .222 is the infielder through just 8 games, making his 9th appearance for this Utica team. He's got 27 at-bats to his credit so far this season. He's got 6 hits. He's came in to score 4 times while driving in 5 of his own. He has left the yard once this year, so you know he can do it. First pitch to him, a fastball on the inside half, called strike by the home plate umpire. Mentioned Willie Martin, no action on the base pass this season, but it's never too late to try something. He's not going anywhere, though. The 0-1 pitch, a curveball that simply just didn't drop, misses the zone high at 66 miles an hour. Evens the count up at 1-1 on the man out of Long Beach, California. The 1-1 offer, fastball low and inside there, missing the zone was Devin Alexander. Count 2-1 on Bobby Webb. Mentioned the implications of this ball game, so critical. Both of these teams in the East Division of this USPBL. Unicorns 1 game back on the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The 2-1 pitch swung on and missed. A really nice fastball at 87 miles an hour on the outside part of the plate. Bobby Webb chased after it but could not make any contact on it. The count even at 2-2 here against Mr. Bobby Webb. 2-2 pitch, fastball on the outside half, taking it the other way, exactly how you're supposed to do it. Bobby Webb with the single, trying to get all the way to third base is Willie Martin, and he goes in, sliding in, not so beautiful, but either way, he gets all the way over there. He moves up 180 feet on that single, and the Unicorns, just like the Hoppers in the top of the first inning, have done well with the bats. They are not going away that easy. Chris Cruz standing in for the Utica Unicorns. Runners on the corners. Bobby Webb over there at first base. No stolen bases to his credit on the season either. So a couple of, you could say, slow pokes out there on the base pass. I mean, through this many games in the season, you would expect somebody with some type of moderate speed to have at least 1 stolen base or at least 1 attempt to their credit, but neither one of those guys going anywhere on the year. The next pitch, a line drive out there into right field. John Mencken, who stumbled earlier on that double off the bat of Dylan Sprague, comes in to make that catch on the line for the third and final out, but the Utica Unicorns get a couple of runs in that bottom of the first inning. After 1 full frame, Eastside leads it 5-2 here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to game number 69 of 71 on this 3rd of September. Some breaking news right here. Donnie Murray absolutely done for the day. He had gone just 1 inning, 36 pitches, went through the entire Eastside lineup, gave up 5 hits, 5 earned runs, a couple of walks to his credit, and no strikeouts. Really tough outing for Donnie Murray. He gives way to the man on the mound. That is Brandon White. Brandon White out of Chicago, Illinois, making his 19th overall appearance in relief for the Utica Unicorns this year. He's got a 1-2 record with a 4.80 ERA in those 18 appearances. He's got 1 save to his credit in 24.1 innings pitched. He's got 18 strikeouts for him and then 18 walks and 18 hits. So a couple of 18s across the board for the right-hander out of Chicago, Illinois. He starts off against Ricky Castro, up for the 2nd time in the same amount of innings. First pitch to Ricky Castro, missing outside. Brandon White, the windup, the pitch, outside corner. The catcher right there, that is Greg Jones, got crossed up a little bit on that pitch. Actually looked like he might have gotten a bad part of the thumb or something. Not sure exactly what happened right there. Not sure if it was a miscue between the catcher and the pitcher on the pitch, or if simply Brandon White's pitch just had that much movement on it. Either way, even though it wasn't caught, home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz calling it a strike. And after going out to the pitcher's mound, coming back, wiping off home plate, wiping some dirt around it, enough time has been given to Greg Jones behind home plate. He seems to be fine as he is back into his catcher's crouching position. Castro even in the count at 1-1 against White. White, the windup, the pitch, fastball low and inside, misses the zone there. Count going to 2-1. Unicorns in their all-white uniforms. Some of the guys wearing their pants up, showing their purple socks. About half the guys out there. Eastside Diamond Hoppers, meanwhile, in their green uniforms and gray bottoms, as Castro swings at the 2-1 pitch, evens it up at 2-2. White, the windup, the pitch, fastball fouled off and into the netting here to my left here in the broadcast booth. Castro stays alive in this one. Castro, in his first plate appearance, didn't even have to swing the bat once. He looked at 4 straight pitches, but did end up getting thrown out at the plate with bases loaded on an infield ground ball for the first out of the ball game. On the 2-2 pitch, Castro looking at a called ball that misses the zone high and outside. So payoff pitch will ensue here for Brandon White. Nobody on, nobody out here in this top of the 2nd inning. 5-2 lead for the Unicorns, and Ricky Castro, for the 2nd time here today, works a base on balls. This at-bat a little tougher than the last one. Castro in this at-bat saw 7 pitches to the only 4 in the first plate appearance. Ian Mikowski, who had that double back in that first inning, stands in here now for the 2nd time today. Mikowski last night 1 for 2 with a single, run scored, a walk, and 2 stolen bases against the Westside Woolly Mammoths last night. He's starting to show bunt here against White. He pulls back and swings, and that one goes off the netting behind home plate. Sort of the Little League slug bunt show right there. Mikowski trying to catch the infielders of this Utica team off guard by pulling that bat back and taking a hack at it. With that foul ball, he's down in the count here, 0-1. White keeping an eye on Ricky Castro over there at first base. Castro mentioned having 8 stolen bases on the season. He has been caught 5 times. Castro not going anywhere on this one. The 0-1 pitch shows bunt at the last second is Mikowski. He tried to get on for a base hit, but that baseball getting lofted high down that left field line, going foul at the last second. He's down in the count 0-2. He'll have to earn this one. Both of these teams with one more game in the regular season after today's meeting. Beavers and Unicorns will play tomorrow, which could be a possible gigantic game for the Unicorns. And then on next Thursday, the September the 7th, Diamond Hoppers will host the Woolly Mammoths. So pending what happens here today and in the next 2 games, of this regular season. Could paint the playoff picture. Mentioned the Beavers and Mammoths already in their spots, guaranteed. The Beavers earning that 1 seed last night when the Hoppers lost to the Mammoths. The Mammoths have been stuck in that 4th spot for about a week now, as it is physically impossible for them to come back and reach into that 3rd place hole, as they sit at 22-29 on the season after the victory last night. Mikowski down in the count 1-2 after fouling off another pitch. Here comes the 1-2 effort, a chopper up the middle. The second baseman, Dylan Sprague, picking that baseball up himself, gets the tag out at second, but overthrows the first baseman to his right. Willie Martin reached over but could not come up with that baseball cleanly. The runner, Ian Mikowski, reaches on the fielder's choice. Ricky Castro retired for the 2nd time on the base pass today. Nice play from the man out of Farley Dickinson University, Dylan Sprague. So 1 out on the board for the Unicorns here in this top of the 2nd inning. Donnie Murray, who had started this ball game, officially done for the afternoon. He's done after 1 inning of play. 36 pitches in that 1st inning. As I say that, Ian Mikowski trying to take second base, and in fact, he will do just that. Ian Mikowski with another stolen base on the season. Mark it number 15. Good enough for first place on this Eastside Diamond Hopper roster. He has yet to have been caught. Absolutely tremendous feat for Mr. Mikowski, the man out of Adrian College, one of the hometown kids. Mikowski, who had 2 stolen bases last night, continues his streak here. Count 0-1 on John Mencken as he swung through the first pitch he saw while Mikowski was taking second base. Brandon White, sort of with that Craig Kimbrell start in the stretch, comes up and slowly comes set. Mikowski with a good lead over there at second base. A little too jittery for Brandon White's likings. He steps off, keeps an eye on him. Back out there on the mound now, and once more, stepping off with that back right foot. He's got some all red cleats, pretty spiffy out there on the mound, matching that brim of the Unicorn hat. He's definitely got the outfit all set up. Let's see if the pitching can do just as well. The 0-1 pitch to Mencken, lofted out there into shallow right field. Going to his backside, Dylan Sprague making the catch on the run out there in shallow right field, calling off Chris Cruz for out number 2. It's been the Dylan Sprague show defensively here in this top of the 2nd. So Mencken is retired on the pop-out for out number 2. Esteban Gomez, the man who had a birthday just yesterday. He went 2 for 4 with 2 singles, an RBI, and a stolen base last night. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the 1st when Ricky Castro was thrown out at home plate. Came in to score on the 2 RBI hit off the bat of Mark Kruger. Gomez with an opportunity to drive in a run himself here. Ian Mikowski with plenty of speed out there in scoring position, only needs a base knock to come in to score. Diamond Hoppers with the 5-2 lead, trying to lily pad their lead up here against this Utica Unicorn team in this crucial game 69 of 71 of this 2017 regular season. Gomez down in the count 0-1 here. The pitch fouled off, looking like it's going to turn from a baseball into a souvenir for a lucky fan down the left field line. 0-2 the count here now on Gomez. And apparently a fan made a pretty nice catch out there. Nice round of applause for the former baseball player. Mikowski out there on second. He's waiting to come in to score. Gomez at the plate, down in the count 0-2. The runner going from second to third. Gomez trying to take that 0-2 pitch the other way. Bobby Webb initially was going to cover third base to cover Ian Mikowski, who was getting close to the bag. And that baseball lofted still in play, but too far for Bobby Webb to go and make the catch. So if you're Brandon White here, you're facing off against Gomez. You do have an open base over there at first, but ahead in the count 0-2 here. I would not throw anything in the vicinity of the strike zone for at least 2 pitches here. Try and force Gomez to chase after one. Instead, A curveball that falls right over the heart of the plate. Gomez didn't have it timed up right and fouls it off once again. The first Saturday in the books of college football. Alabama taking care of Florida State last night. It was close up until the second half. Another big game from yesterday. Western Michigan tied up with USC in the fourth quarter. USC pulling away 49-31. But it is officially Sunday here in this USPBL. Esteban Gomez on the 0-2 pitch, chasing after one for the third and final out. A couple of base runners reach. No hits for the Diamond Hoppers in the top of the second, though. We head to the home half. They lead it 5-2 over the Utica Unicorns. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to game 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL regular season. Devin Alexander out for his second inning of work. 21 pitches through the first frame, 14 of them for strikes. No walks, 1 K to his credit. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. He'll now deal with Mike Rampone, Spencer Ibarra, and back to the top of the order with Brett Belkin. Mike Rampone in the count already, 1-1. He is the designated hitter. Mike Rampone out of New Jersey Institute of Technology. And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw NJIT, I'll never forget when the Michigan Wolverines in one of their greatest basketball seasons had a kerfuffle along the way early on, lost to NJIT. It's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw those 4 letters come across my eyeballs here in the pregame. Mike Rampone looking at a called strike right there. That one evens the count up at 2-2. Trying to have a better inning than the first is Alexander. The 2-2 pitch, outside corner and high. It's going to be a tough play for the third baseman. Trevor Achenbach, he picks that ball up on the ground with his bare hand and on the run, makes the throw. Did it pretty nonchalantly, too. Looked like he had done that a time or two before. 1 up, 1 down here for the Unicorns in the bottom of the second. 5-3 put out to start off this home half of the second frame for the 8-hitter Rampone. That leads up to Ibarra. Spencer, the left fielder out of Ohio University, the Ohio Bobcats, the 2017 Mid-American Conference champions. They had defeated my Central Michigan Chippewas in that MAC play. Chippewas had actually swept them in the regular season 3-0, but the Bobcats getting their way with the Chippewas in the playoff push. We'll see if Mr. Ibarra can continue his playoff success here in the USPBL. Ibarra looked at ball 1 to start off the at-bat, fouled off the next one, evens the count up at 1-1. Nobody on, 1 out here for the Utica Unicorns in this bottom of the second inning. 5-2 your score. Ibarra looks at ball 2 here in the count. Infield, outfield for the most part at regular depth. Some clouds in the sky here today, moving back and forth, but plenty of sun showing down here on Jimmy John's field. The 2-1 pitch, a bender falling in the zone for a strike. Ibarra's knees sort of buckling there. Evens the count up at 2-2. 67 miles an hour on that pitch, my goodness. Two-two pitch, fastball high, missing the zone. Count now is rung all the way full against the left fielder. Payoff pitch, swung on and just past the second baseman, Cam Stewart. That baseball falling into right field. The 4th base hit of the day for the Utica Unicorns. Ibarra gives them a threat here in this bottom of the 2nd. So Brett Belkin now standing in. 1 for 1 on the night already with a single and a run scored. Plenty of options here for Brett Belkin to try and pull off. He's got plenty of speed. He could try and lay one down, but with 1 on and 1 out, I'd be shocked to see him do it. If he hits a ground ball, it'll be tough for the Diamond Hoppers to try and get 2 out of it. First pitch to Belkin, very inside. He had to get out of the way of that one. 88-mile-an-hour fastball inside. Count 1-0 on Belkin, who's batting just under 300 coming into play today. 299 in fact. 1-0 pitch, inside as well, but a called strike from Gary Wagenschutz behind home plate. That a much better pitch from the left-hander Alexander evens the count up at 1-1. Brett Belkin coming into play today in his 46th game with the Unicorns in this 2017 season. 48 hits and 158 at-bats. He's came in to score 32 times. Looks at a curveball that loops just inside. Brings the count to 2-1 on the man out of California. Brett Belkin, nicknamed the Stash, given by my good friend and Director of Promotions, Howard Mitchell. He has rocked that stash all season long. Belkin, a chopper, softly hit over to the left side. Just foul as Achenbach gloved that one just to the left of the left field line. Belkin staying alive in the count. 2-2 it is on the shortstop. Over there on first is Spencer Ibarra. Ibarra on the season, 1 stolen base to his credit in 2 attempts. Keeping an eye on Mr. Ibarra is the pitcher Alexander, bringing that front leg up and falling towards first base. A whole lot tougher to try and steal on lefties than it is righties. And it's all about attacking the running game from a pitcher's perspective. Not only do you got to worry about the batter now, but the man on the base pass. 2-2 pitch close to Brett Belkin's face right there, high and inside. He escapes the way out of that one, and he's worked himself a full count here with 1 out and a runner on. Wind blowing hard from left to right field here. What we thought was the payoff pitch holds off for at least one more. Pickoff attempt there from Alexander brings Ibarra back to first base. Full count, 1 out. We'll see if Ibarra tries to take second base on a hit and run attempt. 3-2 pitch lifted into right field. If it's fair, it's going to be trouble, but looks to be good enough to be about 10 feet foul. Just getting out of play right there. The right fielder, that was John Mankin, went about as far as he possibly could, but could not come up with the catch. Count remains full here on Mr. Belkin. .38 pitches so far for Devin Alexander out of Sonoma State University. Alexander out of Concord, California. Payoff pitch here, fastball inside. Brett Belkin initially thought he might have gotten rung up, but froze his motion towards back to the dugout, and changes his direction. He heads towards first base. Ibarra moves from first to second. The Unicorns threatening here in this bottom of the second inning.
Hey fans, as this exciting season is coming into its home stretch, make sure you're on hand to see how it all ends up. Will the Unicorns repeat as champions? Will the Wolverhamptons win in their first season?
So meeting at the mound as we speak here with runners on first and second for the Utica Unicorns. Evan Alexander facing off against Dylan Sprague for the second time today. Sprague with the best hit ball thus far. Took one down the left field line back in the first inning. Put runners on second and third. But with runners on the corners here, or excuse me, with runners on first and second here, an opportunity for Sprague to drive in his 14th run of the season. "13 RBIs through 23 games. Sprague has the left-hander standing in now. Lefty-lefty matchup as Alexander comes set from the stretch position. Long look towards home, and so long, in fact, that he's asking the catcher, Kyle Figueroa, to come out and talk with him. Obviously, the main thing you want to keep notice of here with the runner on second base, catcher having to show more signs here. I'm sure that meeting on the mound just wanting to clarify to make sure the pitcher and catcher are on the same page. Last thing you want with a couple of runners on base is a miscue between those two men. First pitch to Sprague, curveball outside corner, not good enough to be calling the strike from home plate umpire. 1-0 the count on Sprague. Sprague, the second baseman, he is out of Troy, New York. Not too far from home, but farther than some guys. Sprague in the 1-0 count, looks at ball two, low and in the dirt. He has worked himself a 2-0 count for the second time here today. He took the 2-1 pitch into left field back in that first inning. It's been a long one here so far. Donnie Murray had gone just one inning, gave way to Brandon White for the Unicorns, and Devin Alexander, meanwhile, in just his fourth start of the season versus the Unicorns, having some issues as well with the command. The 2-0 pitch called a strike right there. Count 2-1 on the batter, Sprague. Long look towards first base is Alexander. He then comes quickly to home plate with the pitch. Called strike on the inside corner, evens it up at 2-2. Just like that, Dylan Sprague finds himself in a tough count. Two-two pitch, slider or curveball. Not sure which one it was. It was probably a curveball at 69 miles an hour. Nowhere near the strike zone right there. Ball in the dirt. Good stop from Figueroa behind the dish to keep the runners at first and second. But now 3-2 count here once again. Brent Balkin, the man on first, worked the full count and got a walk out of it. That brought us to this situation here with runners on first and second. The 3-2 pitch to Sprague. Curveball in the dirt. He does not chase after it. After a one-out single, back-to-back walks have loaded the bases here for the Utica Unicorns. They trail it by 3 runs here. Winning run now at the plate with just 1 out. Willie Martin, the 3-hole hitter, coming up to the plate for the Unicorns. There is a tall gentleman out there in the right field bullpen for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Trying to get a number out of him with my binoculars down here. Haven't gotten it just yet, but back to the action we go. Willie Martin. In fact, looks to be actually miscue right there. Sorry about that. Not sure who it is just yet. We'll get that as soon as we can find it. Willie Martin ahead in the count, 1-0 here. The 1-0 pitch, called strike on that outside corner. Evens the count up at 1-1. Willie Martin back in the first inning, reached on an error committed by Trevor Achenbach down that left field line at third base. He could only get over to third, but could not come in to score. He's got a great opportunity here now, though, to drive in a few for this Unicorn team with the bases loaded. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt. Martin holding back just enough with that baseball bat. Staying alive here. The count 2-1 on the first baseman out of Tampa, Florida. Tampa Bay, the home of the Houston Astros for a little bit after that hurricane. It's nice to see Tampa Bay do a good job of hosting that. Meanwhile, a hard hit ground ball in the 5-6 hole to the left side brings in a run for the Utica Unicorns. Spencer Ibarra coming in to make it a 5-3 ball game. Bases remain loaded. Everybody moves up 90 feet. So a base knock and an RBI for Willie Martin. That's the second time he's reached base today. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Tony Rosselli, who had an RBI sacrifice fly out to center field in the first that drove in Dylan Sprague, that drove in Brett Balkin. Rosselli might be facing off against a new pitcher here. Is Paul Nochi, the manager of this Eastside team, coming out to the pitcher's mound. No initial move just yet. And there it is. Day done here for Devin Alexander. We'll tell you who the new man on the mound is when we come back, and we'll also give you Alexander's numbers on the outing. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to game number 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL regular season. Getting down to it here. Rich Borland alongside you. Man who started on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, Devin Alexander's day officially done. He had gone just 1.1 innings against 12 batters. He threw 49 pitches, 28 of them for strikes. He gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks to his day. The 1 strikeout he gives way to Tyler Palm out of West Branch, Michigan. Tyler Palm on the season, an 0-0 record, making his 8th overall appearance in relief this season. A 6.30 ERA as he faces off against Tony Rosselli in this one. Ball 1 missing outside. 10 innings pitched for Mr. Palm on the year. He's got 5 strikeouts. He's given up 3 walks and 9 hits on the season. Tony Rosselli ahead in the count here, 1-0. Mind you, 0 for 0 on the day with that sacrifice flyout that ended up driving in the second run of the ball game for this Utica team. They're down here 5-3 currently, but are threatening with just 1 out and bases juiced in this home half of the second inning. Both starters, Donnie Murray as well as Devin Alexander's day, shorter than 2 innings, both of them. Just an inning for Mr. Murray, an inning and a third for Alexander. It's going to be a long one this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking the action for the 2-0 pitch is delivered. Rosselli calling time as the pitcher, that is Alexander, Tyler Palm, taken too far along with that decision. Alexander on the 2-0 pitch. This hit lifted into left field. Underneath it to make the catch is John Kraft. Throws that ball towards home plate, and just in the nick of time, beating that by about a step and a half, Brett Balkin comes in to score. 2 sacrifice flyouts on the day for Tony Rosselli with a couple of RBIs. 0 for 0, but a good day in fact. He makes it 5-4, still in favor here of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Two outs now on the board. Bases remain loaded, not loaded. Brett Balkin coming in to score there. Keeps runners on first and second now. Scores 5-4 in favor of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Greg Jones standing in. He saw 3 pitches in his first at-bat. Looked at 1 and then swung at 2. He went down swinging for out number 2 in that first inning. Runner at second, Dylan Sprague, thinking about going to third on that ball that got away from the catcher, Kyle Figueroa, for just a second off to his left, but Sprague electing to go back towards second, trying to play it safe with 2 outs here. The man out of Marysville, Tennessee, Greg Jones, trying to tie this ball game up as they trail it 5-4. A hard hit ground ball over to the right side, just foul there, but a nice stop from Esteban Gomez out of San Jacinto College. Comes up with that tough ground ball. Would have been a tough play for Tyler Palm as he was going down the line to cover first base. But just like that, Greg Jones, even in the count at 1-1. Jones looking for his first hit of the ball game, 22nd of the season. Hits a hard piece right there, but just going foul was that baseball. The count now 1-2 on the batter, Greg Jones. The wind up the pitch, the 1-2 is hit down that right side once again, but another one just going foul. Greg Jones staying alive here. He is working this count. The 1-2 pitch to Jones. He swings right through it. Down he goes for his second consecutive strikeout in the ball game. But the Utica Unicorns get a couple of back here in this bottom of the second. We head to the third. Eastside leads it 5-4. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL season. Rich Borland here with you. Cam Stewart leading the way for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers to begin this third inning, and he might start it off with a big bang. A high fly ball out into left field. Underneath it, Spencer Ibarra initially took a couple steps back on the warning track, but came back into the field of play on the grass to make the first out. A big fly coming up short for Cam Stewart to start off this third inning. One up, one down for the man on the mound, Brandon White. So after a long 2 innings, this game started at 1:35. First 2 innings taking about an hour. Remember, just a couple of days ago on Friday, there was a game between the Mammoths and the Beavers. Lasted just an hour and 54 minutes. We're going to go well past that here this afternoon today. Kruger looking at ball one to start off this at-bat. He is 1 for 1 on the evening with arguably the best hit of the day, a single that drove in a couple of runs for this Eastside team, part of the reason they're up here 5-4. Kruger, meanwhile, looking at ball two, start off this at-bat, a good hitter's count against Mr. White. Infield, outfield for the most part at normal depth. Outside of that, Dylan Sprague, the second baseman, playing shaded back on the outfield grass. The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed. Kruger ahead, though, still in the count here, 2-1. Coming into play today, batting .231 with 24 hits on the season. He has left the yard 3 times, but not going anywhere on that pitch. The 2-1 swung on and missed. A big looping curveball at 78 miles an hour out of the hand of Brandon White. Good enough to even this count up at 2-2. 2-2 pitch, fouled off, out of play it goes. Staying alive in the count is Kruger. Kruger on the season, playing in his 33rd game with Team Eastside here today. 104 total at-bats, 24 hits to his credit coming into play today, so 25 and 105 at-bats total. And just like that, on a 2-2 pitch, Kruger chasing after one on the outside part of the plate. We could possibly have our first 1-2-3 half inning of this game if Trevor Achenbach can go down and get retired here against Mr. White. 2 up, 2 down here against him. A fly out to left field off the bat of Cam Stewart, and then a strikeout on a 2-2 pitch from Mark Kruger brings up Trevor Achenbach, who is 1 for 1 on the night, had an RBI single, and also came in to score on an RBI base knock off of the bat of John Kraft, who stands in on deck. First pitch to Achenbach, missing the zone. He's ahead in the count here, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, fastball high and just inside, missing the zone by just enough. Count 2-0 here. Shortstop Brett Belkin shifting a little bit to his right side to try and block up that 5-6 hole on the left side. It gives up a big gap in the middle of the diamond. This next pitch, sort of the same result from Cam Stewart. A good piece of hitting off the bat of Achenbach, but a long fly ball, good enough for just out number 3. Fly out to the left fielder. That was Spencer Ibarra coming up with that one. 3 up, 3 down in this top of the third inning. We head to the home half. Hoppers still in front, though, 5-4. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. To the bottom of the third we go. Tyler Palm back out for his first full inning of work. He came in with 1 out in the second inning to relieve Devin Alexander. A sac fly that drove in a run was the first man that he faced. Then Greg Jones struck out to end that second inning. The top half of the second inning, I should say. Bobby Webb, the first batter, swinging on the first pitch he sees. He hits a ground ball shaded just to the left of the middle of the infield. Ricky Castro to his left side on the run comes up with the catch for out number 1. Quickly, 1 up, 1 down here in this home half of the third. Chris Cruz standing in. He's 0 for 1 with a line out to left field. First pitch to Chris Cruz, missing on the outside corner. Ahead in the count, Cruz is 1-0 here. A big, gigantic shift here for this Eastside team. Something you don't see every day. The second baseman, Cam Stewart, playing in shallow right center field. Shortstop, Ricky Castro, playing at the normal second base position. The third baseman, Trevor Achenbach, playing in between short and third. The ball didn't fly into right field. It went into center about 390 yards, or 390 feet, 390 yards. That ball will be long gone. 390 feet out there to center where Ian Mikowski was standing. He had to take a few steps back, but came up with the catch on the second pitch of the at-bat for out number 2. Quickly 2 up, 2 down here. Nice job thus far for Tyler Palm in this third inning. This next pitch, a hard ground ball to the left side. Achenbach sitting on the ground, keeping the ball in front of him and throwing the ball over to first base for the third and final out. 3 up, 3 down for both teams in the third. We head to the top of the fourth. It's 5-4 Hoppers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We head to this fourth inning here between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and Utica Unicorns. Unicorns just a game back in the East behind the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. We head to this top of the fourth inning. Leading the way is John Kraft from the left side. 1 for 1 on the night with a single and an RBI. He leads off looking at called ball 1 and then called strike 1. Count even up at 1-1. Everybody, for the most part, at normal depth outside of Sprague, who starts off in that shallow right center field. He was probably going to be able to make that play if he was about 2 feet back to start that play. But with that, Kraft lines one out into right field with a leadoff single to start off this fourth. So 1 on, 1 up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Kyle Figueroa with an opportunity to possibly move John Kraft to second base if he lays one down here. The third baseman, Bobby Webb, playing in a little bit. Figueroa, not one of the best hitters in this league, so not surprising that he showed bunt right there, but having to pull back as that pitch almost got a piece of his head. He's worked the count 1-0 to start here. Got to imagine he's probably going to try and lay one down until he gets with 2 strikes if he reaches that point. Brandon White, the windup, the pitch, the bunt, getting down successfully over there down the third base line. Textbook sacrifice job there from Figueroa. Sacrifice bunt for out number 1 moves John Kraft into scoring position. But 1 out here for the Hoppers in this 4th inning. So Brandon White, like I mentioned, in his 19th overall appearance in the pen for this Unicorn team, the longest outing he had on this season, back on July the 20th against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers in a 1-0 victory. He went 4 innings in relief, gave up just 1 hit, 2 walks, had 2 strikeouts against the 15 guys that he had faced. A pretty darn good outing for that man out of Chicago, Illinois. Ricky Castro, the batter now, back to the top of the East Side order we go. He fouls off the first pitch he sees, but a couple of good at-bat, or plate appearances, I should say, not at-bats. Ricky Castro with 2 walks on the day, a 4-pitch walk in the first and then a 6-pitch walk back in the second. He looks at called strike 2, though, called by the home plate umpire. He is down in the count here, 0-2, with an opportunity to drive in John Kraft, who's waiting out there at second base to be driven in to give the Hoppers a 6-4 lead. 5-4 as we speak right now. Ricky Castro trying to stay alive in this battle. The 0-2 pitch hit shallow into left field. Brett Balkin, the shortstop, ranging back and making the catch on the run. Very aware right there of the man on second base. He immediately got right back in towards the middle of the infield right there after he had made the initial out to keep that runner at bay. And just like that, 3 up, 2 down here. Trying to get out of this jam is Brandon White after that leadoff single from John Kraft. Ian Mikowski, the next batter here for this Eastside team. 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He had a double back in the first inning, came around to score on the 2 RBI single off the bat of Mark Kruger. He reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning after Ricky Castro was taken out for the force at second base. Mikowski looks at a couple of pitches to start off this at-bat. The first one missing, the second one hitting. Count is even at 1-1. Crazy stat as I scroll through the Twitter feed. Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Indians, first player in Indians franchise history since 2014 to have 4 extra base hits in a game. First since Lonnie Chisenhall had 9 RBIs versus Texas on June 9th of 2014. Sort of the millennials newspaper is Twitter. Don't necessarily look at newspapers too often in this day and age, but Twitter, some of the best news out there, and especially in this realm of sports. The 1-1 pitch, Mikowski looks at a slider, tried to enter the back door of his home, but just missing on the outer half. The count 2-1 on the center fielder out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Adrian College Bulldog, formerly. 2-1 pitch, 2-seamer missing outside and low at 92 miles an hour. Not the biggest frame for the man out of Chicago, Illinois, Brandon White, but he can definitely bring it with the best of them. White on the 3-1 pitch. The fastball hit back up the middle. Coming in from third base. Kraft gonna get in time. An RBI single off the bat of Ian Mikowski. He's 2 for 3 on the evening. Nice job right there. Pads this Eastside lead. It's now 6-4. So the RBI knock right there for Ian Mikowski. Pads this Eastside lead 6-4 now. Both teams with 6 hits on the afternoon. 2 hits in this 4th inning for this Eastside team. They had none in the 2nd, in the 3rd, but 5 hits alongside 5 runs in that 1st inning sort of set the tone against Donnie Murray and the Unicorns early on. Murray could only go the 1st inning of work, and since then, Brandon White has tried to limit the damage as much as possible. That the 1st run coming in to score against him. John Mencken, the batter now. First pitch he looks at, a fastball. It looked pretty good from up here, but called the ball that missed, I'm assuming, just high and inside to the batter, Mencken, at 92 miles an hour. Mencken out of Elmhurst, Illinois, a Southern Illinois product. The 1-0 pitch hit a couple of hops over there down the left field line in foul territory. Sort of took a wild ricochet off a lip in the grass in foul territory. Bobby Webb was going to his right to try and stop that baseball. On that ricochet, it actually sailed over his head. Thankfully for him, it was in foul territory. Just another strike against Mencken here. The count 1-1 on the batter. One pitch, runner going, hit and run, working effectively here for the Hoppers. Rounding second and trying to get to third is Mikowski, and he will slide in and do just that. Hit and run working effectively here for the Diamond Hoppers. Runners now on the corners, still with just 2 outs on the board. Back-to-back singles put runners on the corners here for the Diamond Hoppers in this top of the 4th inning. They continue to threaten. Some action starting to happen for the Utica Unicorns down there in left field. Looks to be, as I get my binoculars out, number 12 getting loose out there in the pen. That's Chris Dula out of Ferrum, Virginia. Esteban Gomez, meanwhile, standing in, trying to give the Eastside Diamond Hoppers an even bigger lead here. They have 2 insurance runs on the board. They lead it 6-4, but never enough, and especially in a critical game here. Eastside Diamond Hoppers win this one. They can outright clinch the 2nd seed. The 1-0 pitch hit high and shallow into left field. Brett Belkin, shortstop, coming underneath it to make the catch for the 3rd and final out. But the Hoppers get a run on a couple of base knocks, 3 to be in fact, in that top of the 4th inning. They lead it 6-4. We head to the home half. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the home half of the fourth we go. Rich Borland here with you. Spencer Ibarra leading the way for the Unicorns in this home half. First pitch out of the hand of Tyler Palm in this home half of the fourth. Missing just outside. Ibarra works the 1-0 count. Ibarra on the night, or on the afternoon, I should say, 1 for 1 with a single on the full count pitch, and also came in to score on an RBI single off the bat of Willie Martin back in that second inning. Second pitch of the at-bat here misses the zone as well. He's worked the count 2-0 here in his favor. 2-0 pitch, missing the zone as well, and just like that, 3 straight pitches to Spencer Ibarra, and none of them have hit the strike zone. He's worked the count 3-0. Normally a big fan of giving players a green light, but 3 pitches all out of the zone to start off a half inning. It's almost a guarantee. You would expect a batter to look at a pitch here, and in fact, Ibarra does just that. 4 straight from Tyler Palm, the man out of West Branch, Michigan. Misses the zone again, and just like that, a leadoff man is on here. Back to the top of the order for the Utica Unicorns. Brett the Stash Belkin coming up to the plate. He is 1 for 1 on the evening, or on the afternoon, excuse me. Keep getting caught in those night games on these Sunday afternoon affairs. Balkin had a single, came in to score in the first, walked and came in to score in the second. See if that trend continues of him getting on base and getting in here in this third at-bat in this fourth inning. No outs, runner on first. Balkin looks at a called strike on the inside part of the plate to start off this at-bat. Spencer Ibarra on the season. Let's check out how many stolen bases he's got. Ibarra on the season, he is 0 for 1 actually, so no stolen bases to his credit. He has been caught just once. He's not going anywhere on this one. Balkin on the 0-1. Fastball inside. Real good pitch there from Tyler Palm on the inside part of the plate. Brett Balkin not being able to do anything with it, but foul it off out of play. So on the 0-2, before the pitch was delivered, the catcher Kyle Figueroa was motioning towards first base with his free right hand. I wasn't sure if he was telling Palm to try and pick off the runner, Ibarra, over there at first, or throw a pitch out. Either way, Palm had thrown that ball outside. The catcher Figueroa tried to catch Ibarra off guard at first, but he made it back safely. On the 1-2 pitch, the ball lined out there into right field. Coming up to make the catch on the run, John Macon having to take just about 2 or 3 steps to his right as that ball was hit out there very quickly. First out of the inning here, Brett Balkin is retired. Dylan Sprague coming up to the plate with 1 out and 1 on. Dylan Sprague standing in with 1 out and 1 on. Looks at a fastball on the outside part of the plate at 90 miles an hour out of the hand of Tyler Palm. Starts off this at-bat with a strike. Tyler Palm in this 8th relief appearance, the longest he's gone this year. He's had 3 separate outings where he's gone 2 full innings. And he's working on his longest outing of the year thus far. Came in back in the second. He's gone completely through the third, and he's trying to get through the fourth right here. Retired 2 batters in the second inning, and he's working on it in this bottom of the fourth. 0-2 the count here now on Sprague after that called strike 2. Ibarra over there on first. He's trying to score for the second time in this ball game. Tying run at the plate for Dylan Sprague. He has left the yard twice this season. 315 down the left field line, 320 down right, 395 to dead center. About 375 in the gaps. Wind still continuing to blow out towards right field here. Sprague on the 1-2 pitch, a curveball that he chases after. Nice job there from Tyler Palm. Wasn't exactly where he wanted it, but the pitch well enough to get underneath the swinging bat of Sprague, and just like that, 2 consecutive outs here for the right-hander out of West Branch, Michigan. Couple of men getting loose, one in each side. Eastside Diamond Hoppers have an arm getting set out there. Looks to be number 12. That is Chris Dula. And then on the other side, trying to get a number here real quick. As first pitch to Willie Martin, he hits high and deep into left field. The runner that was Spencer Ibarra was going on the pitch. The hit and run does not work effectively there. Willie Martin hits a fly ball out to left field where John Kraft makes the catch. One left fielder to another right there. 3 outs right there on the board. We head to the 5th inning. Eastside Diamond Hoppers lead it by a score of 6-4. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland here with you in Game 69 of 71 in this 2017 USPBL regular season. Brandon White, who relieved Donnie Murray's day, is done. He goes 3 innings through 46 pitches to 13 batters that he had faced. In those 13 at-bats, he had given up just 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout to his credit. He gives way to Chris Dula. Chris Dula on the season, a 1-0 record through 9 relief appearances. He's got a 4 even ERA. He's got 1 save to his credit, 9 innings pitched. In those 9 innings, he's got 8 strikeouts while giving up 7 walks and 3 hits. Cam Stewart will be the first batter he faces off against. Stewart looks at 2 straight pitches, 1 missing outside, 1 missing high, and he's worked the count here 2-0. An absolutely gorgeous September the 3rd here in Utica, Michigan. The 2-0 pitch gets fouled off. Count going to 2-1 on Cam Stewart, but sort of the time of the year where you're transitioning from not only summer to fall, but the kids going back into school, and actually a lot of the interns that were working at the USPBL during the regular season had to make their way back to school as well. And just a few single-digit members left in this crew. I had to come back as I was working in North Carolina all summer as Stewart fouls off another one for a team in the Coastal Plain League, the High Point Thomasville High Toms. But back in action here at the USPBL, and thrilled to be here with you guys the rest of the way on the broadcast until this one's all said and done, when Championship Sunday will occur on the 10th of September. Just a week from today, Cam Stewart looks at ball 3. The count 3-2 here. Payoff pitch about to ensue out of the hand of Chris Dula. A slider on the outside corner. Cam Stewart thought he had ball 4, but instead a backwards K going down in the book right there. Stewart thought he had a free base on balls, but instead he'll have to go back to the dugout with that strikeout right there. Mark Kruger coming up to the plate now. Mark Kruger in his 33rd game with this Eastside team. 24 hits coming into play today and 104 at-bats. 17 runs he has came in to score while driving in 19 of his own. He has left the park 3 times this year. Looks at 2 straight pitches to start off this at-bat, just like Cam Stewart had. Both of them missing the zone here. So we'll see if on back-to-back battles can Chris Dula come back from a 2-0 count. The 2-0 fastball hit back up the middle towards the second baseman. That's Dylan Sprague. Sprague very nonchalantly comes up with the play with ease for the second out. 2 up, 2 down here in this top of the 5th for the Hoppers. Trevor Achenbach now making his way. Achenbach on the afternoon, 1 for 2, had an RBI single back in the first inning. Also came in to score the Hoppers' 5th run of the ball game. That's technically the game, what would be winning run, if the Unicorns cannot put anything else on the board. Achenbach looking at a called strike 1 to begin his afternoon at bat right here. The 0-1 pitch out of the hand of Chris Dula, missing just outside and low. Count evens up at 1-1. Last night, Achenbach went 0 for 3, did have a sac bunt, but in the 9th inning, he could not tie the ball game up. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers had runners on the corners and could not tie the game back up behind the Woolly Mammoths, who ended up winning that game last night by a final of 3-2 and forcing the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers to become the outright first place champions of this regular season. They will not play, outside of tomorrow, they will not play until Championship Sunday on the 10th of September, a week from today. The 1-2 pitch to Achenbach, he looks at, just missing the zone right there was Chris Dula. The count even at 2-2, with Dula looking for his second strikeout in the inning. He won't get it as that ball lifted high into the netting down the right field line. Count remains at 2-2. Achenbach coming into play today, his 15th appearance for this Eastside team, a .250 average through 36 at-bats. He's got 9 hits, 9 runs scored, and he's driven in 4 himself. The 2-2 pitch, slider right over the heart of the plate, freezes Achenbach. He goes down for the second time today, first via the strikeout. A 1-2-3 inning in Chris Dula's first inning of work retire the Hoppers in order. We head to the home half of the 5th. They lead it 6-4 over the Utica Unicorns. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. To the bottom of the fifth we go. Tony Rosselli leading the way for this Utica team in this bottom of the fifth inning. He looks at a called strike to begin his third at-bat of the afternoon. He's currently 0 for 0, but a couple of RBIs on a couple of sacrifice flyouts. He's had a good afternoon so far, but on the 0-1 offer, Rosselli hitting a hard ground ball to Ricky Castro out at shortstop. Castro barely having to move his feet. That one right to him. And he throws the ball to first base with ease for out number 1 in this bottom of the fifth. So Greg Jones now standing in from the left side. Jones on the afternoon trying to avoid his third strikeout of the ball game. If he ends up going down via the K, he'll have to go back to the dugout and toss on that ugly sombrero that you get to receive once you strike out 3 times in a ball game. The only thing that could be worse than that is if it turns gold. If you get another strikeout, a 4-strikeout game would be even worse. Gregory Jones getting a little bit of luck on that one. A hard line drive just over the head of Cam Stewart, who made a great jump in the outfield grass right past that second base position. But it ricocheted off his glove and fell into the outfield. That hard hit ball, good enough for Greg Jones to get a base knock. Not the easiest of opportunities for Cam Stewart. He had an opportunity to come up with that one, but instead, a base hit there for Mr. Jones. He reaches with 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. This next pitch hit to the left side. The third baseman, that's Achenbach, trying to make the play, and he will, but he will not be able to get the runner at second base, who actually had no idea that there was only 2 outs on the board. And just like that, Greg Jones gets caught off guard. Bobby Webb hit the ground ball to the third baseman, Achenbach. He relayed the ball over to first for the second out of the inning. Greg Jones, who was rounding second, heading to third because he thought that inning was over. Instead, it is over, except not the way the Unicorns had wanted. A tough break right there and an opportunity that they possibly had to either tie or cut the lead in half. We're through 5 innings, Eastside leading it by a score of 6-4. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. To the 6th we go. Rich Borland here alongside you in Game 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL season. Things getting down to the wire. Coming into play today in the East Division, the Diamond Hoppers up just a game on these Utica Unicorns. They're 26-24 to the Unicorns 25-25. Pending the result of this game, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers could get that second place outright in this 2017 season. Coming into play today, the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers locked in the 1 spot after the Eastside Diamond Hoppers lost last evening to the Westside Woolly Mammoths by a final of 3-2. But a redemption battle here this afternoon against the Unicorns. They lead it 6-4 here. John Kraft leading the way for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers to begin this 6th inning. He looks at a ball in the dirt out of the hand of Chris Dula to begin this one. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Kraft on the afternoon, a couple of singles. He's driven in a run back in the first and came in to score in the fourth. So 2 of the runs courtesy of John Kraft. And that 2-run lead for the Hoppers boding well thus far. He looks at the second pitch of the at-bat, 2 consecutive balls thrown by the right-hander. Dula, the 2-0 pitch, that one not finding the strike zone as well. And just like that, John Kraft with an opportunity to reach base for the 3rd consecutive time here today if he looks at another ball in this at-bat. Dula out of Ferrum, Virginia, trying to stay alive in this battle with John Kraft. He finds the zone on the outside corner to stay alive in this one. Infield, outfield for the most part at normal depth. Outside of that second baseman, Dylan Sprague, who's playing in that outfield grass right at the edge of the infield and the outfield. Payoff pitch to John Kraft, fouling it off. He stays alive in this one. Count has come full. Kraft and Figueroa, the only Diamond Hoppers in this lineup that did not participate in the game last night against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. So Kraft with fresh legs out there, roaming left field today. 2 for 2 on the afternoon coming into this at-bat. He fouls off another one to stay alive. Wind blowing from left to right field here, picking up just a little bit. John Kraft with 4 home runs coming into play today. If he puts a good piece of wood on it, he could take this one out for a ride. Meanwhile, the 3-2 pitch once again fouled off here. 3 straight foul balls off the bat of John Kraft. 7 pitches in this battle. Kraft with a great at-bat thus far. Can't really hate on him no matter what happens in this one. And just like that, for the 3rd time this afternoon, he reaches the base safely. The first walk, though, for Mr. Kraft. That'll lead up to the 9-hitter Kyle Figueroa. Figueroa on the afternoon, 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field back in the 1st inning. And then grounded out on the bunt via the sacrifice for out number 1 in the 4th. He's got an opportunity to lay another one down, and would you look at that, he's trying to, once again, can't get the bunt down on this 2-seamer inside at 94 miles an hour. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be able to get that one down either. That one coming in on the hands at mid-90s speed. I think it's tough enough to hit it. It's not easy to bunt it either. Figueroa down to the count here, 0-1. Got to imagine he's going to try and lay another pitch down. Good opportunity here for Dula to throw an off-speed pitch. And just like that, an 84-mile-an-hour slider on the outside corner, forcing Figueroa down in the count here, 0-2. He's going to have to try and reach base safely the hard way on this one. Figueroa on the season, batting .226 in his time here. 24 hits on the season. He is showing bunt with 2 strikes. He gets it in fair territory. You don't see that happen every day. But Figueroa, 3rd time's the charm, gets the bunt down successfully for the 2nd consecutive at-bat. And just like that, John Kraft moving into scoring position. Nice job there from Figueroa, the man out of Tallahassee, Florida, with a great job. Tough spot, but executes effectively for out number 1 here in this 6th. So the put out good enough for out number 1. The base runner, Kraft, moving from 1st to 2nd. Back to the top of the order we go from this Eastside team. Ricky Castro, the batter now. 0 for 1 as he popped out to the shortstop back in the 4th, but reached safely on 2 walks in his first 2 at-bats in the first 2 innings. So not a bad day for the man out of the Dominican Republic, Ricky Castro, the only player out of the United States in this season. He was one of 3 last year. He had a teammate, Alex Delgado, last year. They got along great, but he being the only man from outside of the country in this 2017 season, he looks at called strike 2. He's down in the count here, 1-2. Trying to drive in the Hoppers' 7th run of the ball game is John Kraft out there at second base in scoring position, waiting to come home. Castro, though, meanwhile, looks at that fastball in the outside corner. He gets frozen. Gary Wagenschuts, the home plate umpire, ringing him up for out number 2. 2 down, 1 man on. And now coming up to the plate, Ian Mikowski, who is yet to have been retired here today. He is 2 of 3. Had a double and came in to score in the first. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second. And then had an RBI single that drove in John Kraft back in the fourth. So we'll see if Mikowski can once again drive in Kraft here in this outing. Batting from the left side. First pitch, fastball outside corner. Looked about the same spot that Castro just got struck out on, but Mikowski apparently looking at it long enough, and that one just missing on the outer half. He works the count 1-0. 1-0 pitch inside corner now. Sort of on the same frame, but on the inner half. Home plate umpire giving the benefit of the doubt right there to the pitcher, Mr. Dula. And that one evens it up at 1-1. 1-1 pitch is hit to the right side. Couple of hops over there to Dylan Sprague. Sprague should be able to make this one with ease, and he does. Diamond Hoppers threatened with that leadoff walk from John Kraft, but cannot get anything out of it. We head to the home half of the 6th. Unicorns coming up to the plate. They trail it 6-4. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rich Borland here with you. We head to this home half of the 6th inning. Chris Cruz leading the way for the Utica Unicorns in this one. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. Cruz fouling off the first pitch he sees over my head here in the press box. Down in the count he goes, 0-1 against Tyler Palm, who's out for another inning of work. Chris Cruz on this one. If it's fair, it's gone down the right field line onto the hill, but just foul. Chris Cruz with 5 home runs to his credit this season was that close to making it a 1-run game, but the beautiful game of inches that this great game is going in favor of the Diamond Hoppers there, and just like that, a long strike there for a foul ball. Cruz down in the count 0-2 instead of that solo shot right there. 0-2 pitch going high and out of the zone. Trying to get Cruz to chase after that one was Tyler Palm. Palm out for his 4th full inning of work. Came back out in the 2nd inning to relieve the starter, Devin Alexander, who had gone just 1.1 innings. Faced 12 batters, gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. But Tyler Palm has really limited the damage since then. None of the runs going against Mr. Palm. Cruz even in the count at 2-2 after looking at that ball. Palm the delivery. This ball hit high and out into right field. The shift that the Eastside Diamond Hoppers put out against Chris Cruz, it's like they've played him 22 times this year. The right fielder was out where he normally is, but Cam Stewart, the second baseman, playing in shallow right field. So it was like they had two right fielders out there, and perfectly to a T, the scouting working out perfectly for the Diamond Hoppers to record out number one here. Cam Stewart catching that fly out. You don't really see a fly out to the second baseman too often, but that one going down in the record books right there. Mike Rampone, who was due up as the designated hitter here, will be taken out, and he's done for the game. He gives way to Nico Lolio here of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Nico Lolio coming out of Brownstown, Michigan. Lolio, as the pitcher and catcher talk amongst each other at the pitcher's mound. Let's give you Lolio's numbers real quick. Nico Lolio in his 47th appearance with the Utica Unicorns. He's got a .215 average, 28 hits, and 130 at-bats. He's came in to score 16 times, 3 doubles, 6 home runs, 30 RBIs. That is good enough for most on this team. Second place, that is Chris Cruz with 24. So the right man at the plate here for the Utica Unicorns. He's either trying to get on base or take one out of the yard. He hits a high fly ball into left field. If it's fair, it's going to be trouble. And a diving catch, almost overrunning it, was John Kraft out there and left. His body slides past the left field foul line, but he catches it in fair territory with the leather. What a job right there. That is the 1-800-Hansons Get It Done play of the game. Nico Lolio in his first plate appearance gets robbed right there by John Kraft for the second out in this bottom of the 6th inning. The defense coming up clutch right there for the Diamond Hoppers as they keep their 2-run lead here in this bottom of the 6th in an incredibly crucial ball game in game number 69 of 71 of this one. Diamond Hoppers, if they come out victorious, will in fact clinch second place seed and not play until Saturday, the day before the championship here next weekend at the USPBL's Jimmy John's Field. Spencer Ibarra, the batter now, standing in. Fouls the first pitch he sees off down the right field line, softly hit. He's 1 for 1 with a single, a run scored in his second. Also reached on a 4-pitch walk back in the 4th. He stands in here now, down in the count already, 0-2. Oh-2 pitch, high and inside cutter, or at least it looked to be a cutter at 88 miles an hour on the hands of Ibarra. Ibarra fouling it off and staying alive in the count, but trying to protect right there, stay alive. Some high five or some hands being clapped there. Little girl getting a foul ball right there. Great day at the ballpark for the families in attendance here on this gorgeous Sunday afternoon ball game. Next pitch that Ibarra sees, he fouls off again. This one not going into the crowd right there. And a couple of fans getting scared on that one. But everybody perfectly fine. A couple of kids getting some laughs out of the sound effects here. You got to love the family aspect here at Jimmy John's Field. Second to none when it comes to making our fans happy. The 0-2 pitch, once again, Ibarra fouling it off. And that is the third straight foul ball Ibarra has hit. 5 pitches in this battle between him and Tyler Palm. And Ibarra has fouled off 4 of the 5. 0-2 the count on the batter. Tyler Palm trying to get out of this 6th inning. But once again, for the 5th straight time, Ibarra fouls one off. He looked at the first pitch of the at-bat, but then fouled off the next 5. And every pitch in this one has been a strike. We're inching closer and closer to the playoffs here, which will start on Friday of next weekend. The final regular season game coming up on Thursday. That one will be between the Beavers and Unicorns. As I say that, the 0-2 pitch hit out to left field on the run, making the catch. Not as pretty as the second out, but John Kraft coming up with that one for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down in the 6th for the Unicorns. We head to the 7th. Hoppers lead at 6-4 here on the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. To the 7th we go here. John Mencken leading the way for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, but a new arm on the mound for the Utica Unicorns. Tom Constant out on the mound for the Unicorns, making his 27th relief appearance on the season. Chris Dula giving way to him. Dula, through the last 2 innings, the 5th and 6th frames, through 33 pitches in those 2 innings, gave up no hits in the 7 batters he faced, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Really good afternoon for Chris Dula, but Constant in there now trying to keep the Hoppers off the board in these next couple of frames as they trail it by 2. Unicorns and Hoppers playing for second place here this afternoon. First place was decided last night. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers locking in that #1 seed when the Hoppers dropped 3-2 to the Woolly Mammoths. The Woolly Mammoths were already the 4 seed going into yesterday. They've been the 4 seed for about a week now with their record. So those two have been figured out coming into play today, but this one for all the marbles, Hoppers and the Unicorns. If the Hoppers pull off the victory here today, they will automatically be the #2 seed, and the playoffs will be officially set. Technically, the next 2 regular season games could not mean anything if the Hoppers pull off the victory here today. Mencken had worked a 5-pitch walk in that at-bat as I was describing the playoff picture and what's going on. So Mencken doing a good job to lead off this 7th inning for the Diamond Hoppers. Unicorns are really going to have to bear down here if they want to get that #2 seed. So Mencken leads off with that 5-pitch walk. Coming up to the plate now is the birthday boy from yesterday, Esteban Gomez. Gomez on the night 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice and came in to score in the first, struck out to end the second, and popped out to shortstop to end the 4th. He's trying to get on base here and get his first hit of the afternoon. He's looked at 2 straight pitches, though. Neither of them have hit the strike zone. Constant on the season, a 3-4 record with a 3.76 ERA in the 26 games he's relieved for this Utica team. In the 28.2 innings he's pitched, he's got 29 strikeouts while giving up 16 base on balls and 23 hits. The 2-0 pitch, not really sure where that one missed. Home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz saying that that one had missed the zone. Not sure which direction that was, but either way, Esteban Gomez has really worked this count here. No outs, the runner on first. And the 3-0 pitch, fastball, there we go. Finding the zone finally in this at-bat is Constant. Staying alive in this battle. Last thing you want to do in this 7th inning, you're already trailing by 2 runs. Last thing you want to do is walk the first 2 men. And just like that, Gomez looking at another called strike. Tom Constant has fought back into this one. Full count, payoff pitch about to ensue. Perfect ideal situation for the Unicorns, a ground ball in the infield that could turn 2. Instead, keeping an eye on the runner at first is Constant. Most important part of pitching outside of throwing strikes, attacking that running game. Once you let a man on base, you can't worry about just the man at the plate, but the man on the base pass now as well. The 3-2 pitch looked like the pitcher, Tom Constant, might have been a little too focused on that base runner. Esteban Gomez works the 4th ball of the at-bat, And just like that, back-to-back walks for the Diamond Hoppers have them threatening here in this top of the 7th. We'll see if any meeting on the mound occurs here, but doesn't seem to be. Constant's got this one going. Nobody getting loose just yet for the Unicorns down there in the left field bullpen. And nobody getting loose on the right side either. So Constant in for the time being. Cam Stewart, the batter, up for the 4th time in this one. Stewart 0 for 3 on the night, 0 for 7 in his last 2 games. He was 0 for 4 last night with 3 flyouts and a strikeout. He popped out to the catcher once today, flew out to left back in the 3rd, and then struck out looking to begin the 5th inning. Because of that, Stewart trying to lay down a bunt here to move the first 2 base runners of this half inning over into scoring position. It's almost dumb not to try and do that. You want to pad your lead here if you're the Eastside Diamond Hoppers after not successfully putting that bunt down. Stewart not showing bunt on this next pitch, looks at called strike 2, and just like that, he's found himself in a deep hole that he's going to try and dig himself out of. 0-2 pitch, outside corner, changeup, missing the zone. Good stop from the catcher, Greg Jones, to keep that one in front of him. Count 1-2 on the batter, Cam Stewart. Looming on deck, Mark Kruger. Kruger 1 for 3 on the night, or on the day, I should say, with an 2 RBI single back in the 1st. Stewart on the 1-2 offer, chases after one, and he goes down for out number 1 here in this top of the 7th. Now Mark Kruger making his way to the left-handed batter's box. Kruger, the designated hitter out of Draper, Utah. Kruger at the DH hole today, but normally an outfielder for this Eastside team, with an opportunity to lily pad the lead here for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. First pitch Kruger sees, called strike on the inner half of the plate. Down in the count he goes, 0-1. Mentioned Kruger got off to a good start in this ball game. A 2 RBI single back in the first inning that drove in Mencken and Gomez. He's got an opportunity to drive both of those men in here at this at bat, and that would give the Diamond Hoppers a 4-run lead late in this game. You would think it would be enough, but any baseball fans out there know that game is far from over until that third and final out in the 9th inning. As I say that, on the 0-1 offer, the runner at second base, that was John Mencken. He almost got caught off guard. Nice throw from the catcher, Greg Jones, trying to back pick him out there at second base. Brett Balkin, the shortstop, going over to cover. Almost had a nice put out there at second for out number 2, but instead, just a nice effort. The 1-1 pitch in the dirt to the left side. Nice heads-up play there from John Mencken. So he might have gotten caught off guard on the previous pitch, but taking full advantage of that one that missed low and away. He moves over to third base. Runners now on the corners here. Double play ball still in play here for the Unicorns, though. The next pitch, hit and run's going to work effectively for the Diamond Hoppers. On the 1-1 offer, going from first to second was Esteban Gomez. He gets all the way to third as that base hit goes into right field. Mark Kruger possibly was about to turn himself into a double play, but with that opportunity on the stolen base from Esteban Gomez, John Mencken comes in to score, and everybody moves up 90 feet. John Mencken going in to score. Esteban Gomez moving over to third, and Kruger with that RBI single pads this east side lead. It is now 7-4 in favor of the Diamond Hoppers. They are looking to clinch that number 2 seed. Trevor Achenbach now standing in. He swings at the first pitch. He sees out of the hand of Tom Constant, the left-hander. Swings right through that one. He's down in the count here, 0-1. Achenbach out of Billings, Montana. I've actually been to Montana once in my life. My mom living out there now. It's an absolutely beautiful place in this great United States of America. If you haven't gone out there yet, I suggest you do. Number 1 ski resort in the nation. My shoulder still hurts from spring break 2 years ago, but it's definitely a place you need to visit and cross off your bucket list before you kick the bucket. Achenbach looking at ball 1, the count even at 1-1. Keeping an eye on that runner at first was Constant. Over at first base is Kruger. Kruger on the season, he's got 2 stolen bases to his credit. A high fly ball hit out into right. Chris Cruz, the man out of Cornell University, coming underneath it to make the catch. He's trying to make the play at the plate. Instead, cut off by the first baseman over there. That was Willie Martin. Willie Martin with that cutoff, throwing the ball to second base to try and catch Cam Stewart off guard. Or excuse me, Mark Kruger off guard. But instead he slides in safely. Esteban Gomez comes in to score on that sacrifice flyout off the bat of Achenbach. And just like that, Eastside Diamond Hoppers add a run to their lead. They now have doubled the Unicorn score. It's 8-4. 2 outs on the board. Runner at second is Stewart. John Kraft coming up to the plate on the afternoon. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles, an RBI, a run scored, and a walk to his credit. He has had a great day this afternoon, and in fact, the only Eastside Diamond Hopper to yet have been retired today, but right on cue, a high fly ball into center field. Tony Rosselli coming underneath it to make the catch for the third and final out. But another 2 runs go across the board for the Diamond Hoppers in the top of the 7th. We had to stretch time here at Jimmy John's Field, so if you're at home tuning in, get out of your seat and stretch with us here at Jimmy John's Field. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Game 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL regular season. Rich Borland here with you. The Utica Unicorns, who gave up 5 runs in that initial first inning, have tried to claw their way back into this one, but 2 runs hit in that top of the 7th inning by the Diamond Hoppers have given them an 8-4 lead here against this Utica team. Brett Balkin, the stash, the leadoff man here for this Utica Unicorns, leading the way in this home half of the 7th inning. He looks at a called ball to begin his at-bat, 4th of the day. He is 1 for 2, came in to score twice. He's got a single and a base on balls to his credit. He flew out to right field in his last at-bat back in the 4th inning. He looks at ball 2 here to start off this at-bat. Something that the Unicorns desperately need are base runners, and Brett Balkin would be the perfect man to start that off. He's got plenty of speed, and he shows bunt on the 2-0, but pulls back, thinking, you know what, maybe I should try and swing here on this one, as he saw the third baseman, Trevor Achenbach, starting to creep in. Nice job to bring that bat back, even though called strike 1 happened just right then and there. Tyler Palm still out on the mound. He had came in to relieve the starter, Devin Alexander, back in the 2nd inning of work. Balkin on the 2-1 offer. Almost gets hit there on the pitch on the inside half. He pulls back the bat and stays alive in this one. The count 3-1 on Mr. Balkin, looking for his 2nd walk of the day. See if he's given the green light on a 3-1. Palm, the wind up the pitch. Fastball in there for a called strike 2. Balkin can't believe it. He thought it might have been a little bit low, but either way, close enough to get called a strike here. Balkin, who was looking for ball 4 right there, is going to have to protect here on this full count offer. The 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled off, staying just alive on that one. Balkin gets a piece of it to remain in this battle. Balkin batting just under 300, 299 coming into play today, making his 46th appearance here for this Utica team in this season. Looking for hit number 49 on the year. See if he can get it. The 3-2 offer, swung on and missed. Catcher Kyle Figueroa holding on to that one. A good at-bat from Brett Balkin. He started off 3-0, but battling back into that one. Tyler Palm doing a great job solidifying out number 1 right here in this home half of the 7th. Eastside with the 8-4 lead. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if they do win this one, they will clinch for 2nd place in this USPBL 2017 season. A lot on the line here in these next 2.5 innings of work. Utica Unicorns trying to stay alive in this one. So many implications pending the result of this game. The first pitch to Dylan Sprague. The next batter, he looks at a called strike on the inner half. The next pitch, fastball outside. That one just missing. And the count even at 1-1. Palm even at 1-1. The next pitch to Dylan Sprague. He takes one on a line drive out there into right field. One hopping it out to John Mencken, the man out of Southern Illinois University. Picks that one up on the hop. But a one-out single for Dylan Sprague has the Hoppers, or excuse me, the Unicorns in motion here in this bottom of the 7th inning. Willie Martin coming up to the plate. 1 out, 1 on here for the Utica Unicorns. Willie Martin on the season, 2 home runs to his credit. He's 2 for 3 on the afternoon with 2 singles and 2 RBIs. He could continue this great outing. See what happens here. Called strike on the outside corner for Willie Martin. Looks at that one. Runner on first is Dylan Sprague. Sprague on the season. He's got 1 stolen base to his credit, but he's also been caught stealing once. So 1 for 2 on the year. Willie Martin, the first baseman for this Utica team, chasing after the second pitch of the at-bat. He's quickly down in the count here, 0-2, down to his final strike as he's going to have to protect and possibly try and take the ball the other way here. A big hole in between first and second base as Cam Stewart is shaded towards the middle against the right-hander, Willie Martin. Just crossing the 4 o'clock hour, here on this September the 3rd. The 0-2 pitch, Willie Martin looks at, misses the zone outside. Martin batting .311. Coming into play today, making his 14th appearance in a Utica Unicorn uniform. Say that 5 times fast. The 1-2 pitch to Martin, swung and missed. He goes down chasing it. The second strikeout of the inning for Tyler Palm. 4th of the afternoon for that man right there. Palm out of West Branch, Michigan, doing a really good job here in this outing as he relieved Devin Alexander after he had thrown just 1.1 innings worth of work. Tony Rosselli now standing in for this Utica team. He had gone over 1 but had 2 sacrifice flyouts coming into this at-bat. The first pitch he sees, he drives out to left field. John Kraft about 5 feet in front of that warning track area. He comes up with the catch on the first pitch of the at-bat. Dylan Sprague reaches base safely with a single, but they cannot do anything else in the home half of the 7th. We head to the 8th as the Hoppers lead it by a score of 8-4 over the Utica Unicorns in this decisive Game 69 of 71. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 8th inning we go here at Game 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL season. Rich Borland here with you. Eastside Diamond Hoppers with a commanding 8-4 lead as we head to this 8th inning. Tom Constand's day officially done after just 1 inning of work. He had faced off against 6 batters, 1 of them getting a hit, 2 of them reaching on a walk. Both of those men who had walked, Mankin and Gomez, had reached and came in to score in this top of the 7th inning. 22 pitches for Constand, 11 of them strikes, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. He gives way to Andrew Potter. Andrew Potter of this Utica Unicorn team out of Lancaster, California, out to pitch this top of the 8th inning. A necessary inning for Potter to get out of a jam. First pitch he throws to Kyle Figueroa, the 9-hitter of this Eastside team. Figueroa looks at ball 1 as the pitcher, Andrew Potter, has to adjust his landing spot there out on pitcher's mound as he didn't like what he was seeing out there. Potter on the season, a 2-0 record with a 5.06 ERA. He's making his 11th relief appearance in a Utica uniform. There that one goes again, one of the best lines out here. And then in the 10.2 innings he has pitched in the 10 games, he's given up 12 strikeouts, or he's retired 12 batters via the strikeout, and then he has given up 6 walks and 9 hits on the year. The 1-1 pitch to Kyle Figueroa. Figueroa hits out into left center field. That one's good enough to fall in for a base knock. Spencer Ibarra brings it back into the infield very quickly, but Figueroa reaching the base safely with that base knock. Unicorns struggling here pitching-wise in this one, and it all started with Donnie Murray back in the first inning. Diamond Hoppers put up a 5 spot on 5 hits in that first inning. Donnie Murray threw 36 pitches, and the Utica Unicorns planning just in case they did lose this one. No reason to keep Donnie Murray out there and waste his arm. He would probably only get a good 4 innings if he had dealt through the rest of the game. Pitch count-wise, he was at 36 through the first inning. He gave way to Brandon White, who threw 3 innings of work, faced 13 batters, gave up 3 hits and 1 earned run. And then Chris Dula pitched the next 2. He threw 33 pitches, faced 7 batters, didn't give up any hits, retired 3 via the strikeout, and had 1 walk as well. Ricky Castro, the next batter, back to the top of this Eastside order we go. He looks at ball 1 and strike 1 in consecutive fashion. He's even in the count here, 1-1, is the man out of the Dominican Republic. Castro on the afternoon, 0-for-2 with a strikeout, a pop-out, but he has reached base safely on 2 separate walks. Those were back way in the first and second inning when the Eastside Diamond Hoppers put up a 5 spot in that first. They got 1 in the fourth on an RBI single off the bat of Ian Mikowski, and then 2 back in the top of the 7th inning. Back-to-back walks from Mencken and Gomez led the way, and then an RBI single from Mark Kruger and a sacrifice flyout from Trevor Achenbach brought in the 2 runs. Kyle Figueroa over there on first base, waiting to get into scoring position. Ricky Castro, meanwhile, looks at ball 2. He's ahead in the count here, 2-1. Figueroa with a decent lead over there at first base. He was going right as the first movement was made by Andrew Potter. And as I say that, Ricky Castro reaching base safely. The third baseman, Bobby Webb, not able to come up with that one. That's going to go down in the books as an E5, and things starting to go from bad to worse here for the Unicorns in this one. Looking like they might be the third-place team when it's all said and done here, which means they would play in Game 1 of the 2017 playoffs against the Westside Woolly Mammoths. A lot of implications here in this ball game, and things starting to fall apart here for the Utica Unicorns. Nobody out on the board. Runners on first and second now after that leadoff single from Kyle Figueroa and Ricky Castro reaching on that error. The next batter, Ian Mikowski, laying one down right up the middle. Andrew Potter doing his job, transitioning from a pitcher to a fielder, picking up that ground ball right back to him. Mikowski puts down the sacrifice bunt, retires himself, but giving himself up, he moves Ricky Castro to second and Kyle Figueroa to third. Doing a great job right there is that man, Ian Mikowski. Mikowski out of Adrian College, Grand Rapids, Michigan, the hometown kid, doing his part to try and give the Hoppers some more runs in this ball game. And as I say that, John Mencken intentionally getting walked here on no pitches. So Mencken will load the bases up with that intentional walk, and coming up to the plate now, the man who just had a birthday yesterday, Esteban Gomez. He is 0-for-3 though on the afternoon. Reached on a fielder's choice, came in to score in the first, struck out in the second, popped out to the shortstop, Brett Balkin, to end the 4th inning, and then reached and scored once again on a walk back in the last previous inning. He stands in here now with the bases loaded though. A good opportunity for Gomez. This is his 3rd at-bat with men on base. Gomez down in the count here, 0-1. Potter trying to get out of this huge jam. 1 out, bases loaded. A nasty breaking ball out of the right hand of Andrew Potter. Falls in at 78 miles an hour, right under the bat of Gomez. He's quickly down in the count here, 0-2. Mencken over there on first. He got intentionally walked to load the bases. Ricky Castro at second. Kyle Figueroa at third. All three of those men trying to come in to score, but before the next pitch is thrown, Andrew Potter stepping off the mound and calling his catcher out to talk with him, Greg Jones, getting the word of advice from Andrew Potter. Only possible thing I could imagine in that conversation was simply the pitch that Potter wants to throw here. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. Catcher could try and offer up that other curveball or a high fastball. I'm assuming the only two options here in this 0-2 count. Let's see which one Potter goes with. In fact, he goes with the breaking ball. Ball hit down the right field line. The first baseman picking it up, Willie Martin, going to first for the first out, and then a double play at first. The Unicorns turn a 3-2-4 double play, and just like that, they get out of the jam. They were down 4 runs going into this 8th inning, and they have limited it to that as we head to the home half. 2 more at-bats for the Unicorns. They need to get 4 runs if they want to keep this ball game going. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to game 69 of 71 of this 2017 USPBL regular season. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here, Eastside Diamond Hoppers and Utica Unicorns playing for second place here this afternoon. If the Unicorns can somehow come back, the season scenario will not be finished as they are 1 game back on this Eastside team. But if the Diamond Hoppers come away with the victory, they will outright get second place behind the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, and our playoff picture will be set. Tyler Palm, how about the day this man's having? He came in to relieve for Devin Alexander, who had gone just 1.1 innings worth of work, faced 12 batters in the game, and he has been in ever since he started off against Tony Rosselli in the 2nd inning, and since then he has given up just 4 hits, 2 runs, but one of those 2 runs going to Alexander. It's been a great day for Tyler Palm on the mound. And you got to imagine he's going to get a big round of applause from his teammates pending how far he goes in this one. Greg Jones, the batter, meanwhile, the catcher for the Unicorns. He worked a 1-1 count before a hard ground ball was hit over to the right side. Esteban Gomez out of San Jacinto College comes up with the unassisted play at first for out number 1 here in this home half of the 8th. Bobby Webb now coming up to the plate. He had that error back in the 8th inning, the top of the 8th inning, against Ricky Castro. No one happier seeing that double play than the man at the plate right now. Bobby Webb's error going unscathed in that top of the 8th inning, but he can make up for that error back in that top of the 8th inning with a base hit here. 1 out, nobody on against Tyler Palm, who has been cruising ever since he came in this ball game. Throws a fastball in the outside corner at 80 miles an hour for strike number 1. Bobby Webb on the afternoon. 1 for 3, singled in the first, but grounded out to the left side of the infield twice. And would you look at that, on the 0-1, Bobby Webb with his 2nd single of the afternoon, keeping the Unicorns with some glimpse of hope here in this bottom of the 8th inning as they trail it by 4 runs. So Chris Cruz now standing in. Cruz on the afternoon 0 for 3. He has put every ball in the air. Somebody has caught it at one position or another. And I had to mention Cruz in one of those flyouts. It was near the wall down in right field. Tyler Palm looks like his night officially done. Palm with that great outing, probably just a pitch count thing, as Paul Noce, the manager of this team, going with the decision to bring in a new arm. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll give you Tyler Palm's line and then the new arm coming out to the mound for the Diamond Hoppers. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in this middle of the bottom of the 8th inning. One out on the board, a runner on base. Tyler Palm's day officially done. He had done tremendous. Came in with one out in the second inning to relieve Devin Alexander, and he had a great day. 6 total innings pitched for Tyler Palm. He threw 61 pitches against 21 batters. He gave up just 2 hits in those 6 frames, 3 walks against him, and 4 strikeouts to his credit. He gives way to the man on the mound right now. That is Michael Stafford. Michael Stafford, in his 22nd appearance with this Eastside team, 18th from the bullpen. As Chris Cruz, on the first pitch he sees, swings and misses on the first opportunity, and then does that once again. He's quickly down in the count here, 0-2. Cruz on the afternoon, 0 for 3, like I mentioned, has put every ball in the air. A line out to right in the first, fly out to center in the third, and then a pop out to that second baseman in the 6th inning. Trying to get on base for the first time today. Chris Cruz will not, in fact. Goes down swinging and missing for the first time today for out number 2. And just like that, 2 outs here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Unicorns trying to stay alive, but they are getting closer and closer to that final out. Mentioned the Diamond Hoppers, if they pull off the victory today, will end up getting that second place seed and not playing until Saturday against the winner of the 3 seed versus the 4 seed, which is going to be on Friday here at Jimmy John's Field. Can't wait to be on call for that one and the rest of the way here in this 2017 season. Nico Lolio in for his second plate appearance today. He came in to pinch hit for the designated hitter Mike Rampone back in the 6th inning. He flew out to left field on the first pitch he saw. Swings and misses on the first effort in this at-bat. Lolio with a good job at the plate looking at ball 1 there. Count evens up at 1-1, but that's not the good part. Lolio telling his runner on first, Bobby Webb, to take second base right there. He moves up 90 feet closer and into scoring position. Lolio even in the count at 1-1, trying to give the Unicorns their 5th run of the game. Mentioned he's got 6 home runs on the year, so if he can leave the yard, he would cut this lead in half against the left-hander Stafford. Stafford with that high leg kick, a breaking ball, bending in, just missing low. Sort of caught Lolio off guard right there. Kind of saw him back out of the box as that ball was crossing the plate. See if he goes with that off-speed pitch again. It's tough for left-handers to try and face off against left-handed pitching, especially when he goes from, high 80s, low 90s to that off-speed stuff. Part of the reason Lolio calling time right there, trying to get his mind right in this count. A big pitch about to happen here with the 2-1 offer. The 2-1 pitch from Stafford, fastball outside, just missing right there. Nice try from the catcher. That was Kyle Figueroa on that frame job, but a better call from the home plate umpire. That's Mr. Gary Wagenschutz. I've actually known him for quite some time. He had umpired some games when I was pitching at Macomb Community College, just about a half an hour away from here. Lolio on the 3-1, has to escape out of the way of that one, and he reaches base safely for the first time today. A 5-pitch walk to that man right there brings runners to first and second here for the Unicorns. And hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen. If Spencer Ibarra can get on base here, the Unicorns are in business. Tying run on deck. That is the man that leads off for this Unicorn team, Brett Balkin. We'll see if Spencer Ibarra can do the job here, but a 104 average coming into play today. He is 1 for 2 with a single, a run scored, a walk, and a fly out to left field. First pitch he sees, back to the off-speed stuff, goes Michael Stafford. That curveball falling out of the zone, trying to get Ibarra to chase after it, but he holds off. Nice patience there from the left-hander. Ibarra out of Clinton Township, Michigan, with an opportunity here, but instead just looks at ball number 2, and for the second time in this inning, a ball getting past the catcher, Kyle Figueroa. And just like that, the Unicorns, both of them, moving up 90 feet closer to scoring. Instead of first and second, it is now second and third. Count 2-0 here on Ibarra, with a great opportunity to cut this lead in half. All he needs is a base knock, and he will drive in both Bobby Webb and you would imagine Nico Lolio. Even if he gets a stop sign held up by Jim Essien over there at third, got to imagine that aggressive young man will probably try to come in to score no matter what. The 2-0 pitch, missing the zone as well. That one low and away. And just like that, Ibarra with an opportunity to load the bases if he gets a 4-pitch walk. Stafford, the 3-0 pitch, fastball, getting enough of that inside corner. Count 3-1 here. Last thing you want to do if you're the pitcher, Mr. Stafford, is allow the leadoff man to come up to the plate with bases loaded in a 4-run game. That would put the tying run at the plate for the Unicorns. Stafford with the 3-1 pitch. A fastball looked to be good enough for ball 4, but home plate umpire calling it strike 2. It was definitely a borderline pitch, and Spencer Ibarra was looking for ball 4, but close enough right there for the home plate umpire to call strike 2. He's really going to have to earn this one. Payoff pitch about to ensue. There is an open base at first for Stafford, but a hard ground ball hit to the right side. Cam Stewart cannot come up with it as he was diving to his left, and in coming to score, both Bobby Webb and Nico Lolio. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. The Unicorns have cut this lead in half. A 2 RBI single off the bat of the 9-hitter, Spencer Ibarra, coming into that at bat with a batting average below 200. In fact, 104 through 17 games, just the 6th hit of the season, the biggest one of his career, cutting this lead in half. Paul Nochi now coming out to the mound to talk to his boys at pitcher's mound. Michael Stafford, getting the ball taken away from him right there. So his day officially done. Not the greatest of outings for the left-hander, but we will see what happens here as the new arm's going to come in to pitch for the Diamond Hoppers. This one far from over here, ladies and gentlemen, in game 69 of 71. Unicorns trying to stay alive in this one. We'll see who's coming out to pitch here for the Diamond Hoppers when we come back. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. New arm on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. That's Carl Bryce. Giving way to him was Michael Stafford. Michael Stafford with just .1 innings pitched right there. He faced off against 3 batters, gave up a walk, had a strikeout, but that 2 RBI single off the bat of Spencer Ibarra has cut this Eastside lead in half, 8-6 as we speak. Brett Belkin standing in here. He has worked the count 1-1 after hitting that last pitch foul. So many implications here in this one, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining us, if the Eastside Diamond Hoppers can hold on to this one, they will end up being the second-place team outright, as the Beavers had clinched last night after the Diamond Hoppers lost to the Woolly Mammoths. The Woolly Mammoths, of course, in that 4th-place hole. They've been there about a week or so. But the second-in-place team still trying to get figured out. So many implications coming into the ball game today as Brett Balkin looks at ball 2 here. An incredible opportunity for both of these teams to not have to play in that opening game on September the 8th here. Just a couple of days away, 5 short days away. We are so close to this playoff hunt. Brett Balkin, a missed opportunity right there. The 2-1 pitch. He tries to hold back with his baseball bat, but cannot. And because of it, it evens the count up at 2-2. So Carl Bryce, the man on the mound, a 3-2 record in 25 relief appearances, a 3.11 ERA coming into play today. He's got 4 saves for this Eastside team, trying to get save number 5, and the hard way. He'd have to have a 4-pitch or a 4-out save. You don't see it happen too often. He's got 26 innings pitched in his time with the Diamond Hoppers in this summer, and in those 26 innings, he's got 27 strikeouts, 24 walks, and he's given up 21 hits during that process. Balkin fouling off the 2-2 pitch, staying alive here, but a great opportunity. Ibarra over there at first. He's trying to go to second. The 2-2 pitch actually drills Brett Balkin on that inside hand. Looked as if the runner, that was Ibarra, was trying to go from first to second with the stolen base opportunity. The catcher, Kyle Figueroa, might have gotten a piece of that one too, as he's shaking that throwing hand right there. He might be trying to sell an interference call right there, but at the same time, you know, just a tough break there for the Eastside catcher. And the pitcher, of course, too, as Brett Balkin works that that 2-2 hit by pitch. Things starting to become a little dicey here for the Diamond Hoppers. As comfortable as they felt going into this bottom of the 8th inning, it is far from over here, ladies and gentlemen. And now, as I say that, Paul Nochi, the manager, having a word for Gary Wagenschutz behind home plate, trying to argue his case, maybe even ask the home plate umpire to ask his partner out there on the base pass, but Wagenschutz denying that. He seems pretty confident with the call. He clearly saw that one. So Dylan Sprague with an opportunity to tie this ball game if he can get an extra base hit. First pitch that Sprague sees, a called strike on the inside half. Sprague not happy at all. In fact, he's taken extra time out of the batter's box here. Not the best thing to show up an umpire when you're still in a count. Last thing you want to do in a crucial situation is get on the umpire's bad side, because if anything that's going to be close, you know it's going to get called a strike now. That second pitch to the at-bat, just missing low, evens the count up at 1-1. Sprague looking at the second straight pitch. Coming into this at-bat, Sprague on the afternoon, a good day. A single, a double, a walk. He did strike out in the 4th inning, but reached 3 of 4 times. He had that walk in the 2nd inning. The 1-1 pitch held off initially by Sprague. Catcher Figueroa not asking home plate umpire to ask his partner to see if he went around. So the count going to 2-1 on Sprague, the second baseman. 2-1 pitch, ball missing low and in the dirt. Sprague after that pitch, nodding his head up and down. He liked what he saw right there. Seems to be locked in here right now. Unicorns trying to stay alive here. If they do win this game, the second and third place team still will not be decided after the play today. This ball down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble. Incoming to score for the Unicorns is Spencer Ibarra. And just like that, the lead cut in half once again. 8-7 now in favor of the Hoppers. A clutch 3-1 base knock for Dylan Sprague gives the Unicorns their 7th run of the game. So Ibarra coming in to score. Going from first to third is Brett Balkin. And that RBI single from Dylan Sprague gives the Unicorns some life here in this one. 3 runs have come in to score. Tyler Palm, the man who had done so well in this outing. 6 innings strong in relief against 21 batters. He gave up just 2 hits. And then Michael Stafford combined with Carl Bryce have broken this one open. It is still 8-7, so technically Tyler Palm in line for the win here, but not if Willie Martin has anything to say about it. Martin, meanwhile, looking at ball 1 to start off this at-bat. If you're just joining us, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers got 5 runs in the first inning, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the top of the 7th inning. Meanwhile, the Unicorns with 2 in the first, 2 in the second, but nothing until that 8th inning where they have put up the 3 runs. Willie Martin quickly looking at ball 2. He's ahead in a favorable count. 2-0 here with runners on the corners. Open base, not the worst possible thing. Willie Martin on the night, 1 for 4. Got an RBI single back in the 2nd inning that drove in Spencer Ibarra. But outside of that, reached on an error in the first, flew out to left in the 4th, and then struck out swinging in the 2nd. The 2-0 pitch missing the zone as well. And Willie Martin has worked himself into a 3-0 count. We'll see if the pitcher, Carl Bryce, decides to just allow him to reach here with 2 outs to load the bases. But Tony Rosselli, the man on deck, will be the 9th hitter for the Unicorns in this inning. Bryce with the pitch. Fastball inside, too far in fact, and that base on balls loads the bases here for the Unicorns. Balkin on third, Sprague on second, Martin now on first with 2 outs. This is what you live for here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're Tony Rosselli, this is the moment you dream of as a kid. Even though it's not a playoff game just yet, the implications definitely feel as if it is here. All the marbles being laid out on the table. The winner coming out with a huge chunk of change in this one. Paul Noce, the manager of this Eastside team, out there trying to motivate his pitcher, Carl Bryce, and his guys in the infield as they all go back to their respective positions in the infield. But what an inning. Tyler Palm had came in for his 6th inning of work. First batter, Greg Jones, grounded out to the first baseman. That was Esteban Gomez. And then Bobby Webb had singled. That took out Tyler Palm, gave way to Michael Stafford. Stafford got a strikeout after that, but then a full count walk to Nico Lolio, followed by a 2 RBI single from Spencer Ibarra. Had put this one in motion, but underneath it, in right field, Rosselli gets the 3rd and final out of this 8th inning. Cam Stewart coming up with the catch. But the Unicorns put up a 3 spot in the home half of the 8th, making this 9th inning that much more special. We head to the top of the 9th inning. Hoppers will try and get runs back in this one. They lead it 8-7. Here to the final inning we go on the USPBL YouTube channel. To the ninth we go, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you back here to game 69 of 71. Going into this ninth inning, the Utica Unicorns were trailing at 8-4, but put up a 3-spot on 3 hits in that home half of the 8th inning to make this one that much more entertaining. As we go to this ninth inning, 5, 6, 7 due up for the Diamond Hoppers to start this one off. Cam Stewart, Mark Kruger, and Trevor Achenbach against Andrew Potter here in this top of the ninth inning, as the Hoppers will try and take a little bit more back on their lead. They had a 4-run lead going into the 8th inning, but that 3-spot put up by the Unicorns in the home half have made it a 1-run game. 9 hits on the board for the Hoppers, 11 for the Unicorns now. The Hoppers trying to regain some of that insurance as they only cling on to this 1-run lead now. The 1-0 pitch to Cam Stewart. He looked like he was trying to drive that ball a good 500 feet over the left field wall. He gets nothing out of it. Grabs some dirt in the ground to get a better grip on that baseball bat and picks it back up. Stewart not rocking any batting gloves. None in the back pocket either. He's ahead in the count here. 1-1 is the count. 1-1 pitch in the dirt here against Cam Stewart. The count 2-1 on the batter Stewart, who is 0 for 4 this afternoon, was 0 for 4 last night. You could say he's due for a base hit. The 2-1 pitch, fastball just missing high it looked like. Seemed to be over the plate, but the catcher, that was Greg Jones, holding in an extra second for the home plate umpire. Those two having a conversation as we speak. And I'm assuming Mr. Wagenschutz behind home plate explaining the situation right there. The count now 3-1 on Stewart. Potter trying to stay alive in this one. A fastball too far inside. Stewart works the 5-pitch walk and reaches base safely for the first time in the last 2 games. A leadoff walk could come back to haunt the Unicorns in this one. So as Mark Kruger's getting ready to stand in the batter's box, the first baseman, Willie Martin, going over to have a conversation with Andrew Potter. Not sure what about. Maybe the bunt coverage, just in case Kruger tries to lay one down the first baseline. Making sure it's either Potter or Martin that's going to pick up that ball if it gets bunted to the right side of play. Last thing you want to see is both of those men charge and have no one covering first base. Kruger, on the first pitch he sees, he fouls the ball off into the protective netting behind home plate here, protecting these loyal fans here at Jimmy John's Field. Mark Kruger on the afternoon, a couple of singles, 3 RBIs on the day. He did strike out once and grounded out back in the 5th inning. But an opportunity here, the 0-1 fastball, or curveball, 76 miles an hour out of the hand of Potter, cannot fall in the zone for a strike. The count even at 1-1. Trevor Achenbach waiting on deck. Diamond Hoppers clinging on to this 1-run lead. If they don't add any onto it here, it'll be an exciting final half frame when the Unicorns come up to the plate. Potter, before he could throw the next pitch to Kruger, decides to go over and keep an eye on Cam Stewart over there at first base. Stewart on the season, 5 for 7 on the base pass coming into play today. Potter, the 1-1 offer, fastball just missing outside or low. Looked like a good frame job from the catcher, Greg Jones, but home plate umpire saying otherwise. The count forwarding to 2-1 here on Kruger, the left-hander. Kruger out of Draper, Utah, standing from the left side, waiting for another pitch, but checking on the runner at first is Potter. He's back, set, ready to go here on the mound now for this next one. Kruger waving that bat back and forth, trying to get set from the left side. He's ready for the 2-1 delivery. Andrew Potter coming set really quickly, but another pickoff over towards first base. Talked about it a couple of times in the broadcast already, but so crucial for pitchers to attack the running game. You want to make sure these guys out there on the base pass don't think that they have your number. Want to make sure that they aren't comfortable at all out there roaming the base pass. And on the 2-1, the runner not going, but an absolutely beautiful backdoor curve from the hand of Andrew Potter. Looked like it was called a strike, and yes, initially the main scoreboard here at Jimmy John's Field said 3-1, but home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz with a great call right there. The count evening up at 2-2 after that beautiful backdoor curveball out of the hand of Andrew Potter. Runner on first is Stewart. We'll see if he gets moved into scoring position here. 2-2 count, nobody out, one on here for the Diamond Hoppers as they're trying to add on an insurance run. Stewart with the fake steal from first to second, but swinging and missing through that one is Kruger. Could have been a strike him out, throw him out if Stewart tried to take second base, but just the one out getting recorded right there as Kruger swings through one for out number one. So Trevor Achenbach now standing in here for the Diamond Hoppers. Achenbach on the afternoon. 1 for 3, had an RBI single in that 5-run first inning for this Diamond Hopper team. The first pitch to Achenbach in this at-bat, missing inside and in the dirt. Good stop from Greg Jones, keeping the ball in front of him and keeping Cam Stewart at bay over there at first. Achenbach ahead in the count here, 1-0. He has struck out once and then flew out to left. He was the third and final out in the third and fifth inning, respectively. But an opportunity here to try and pad onto this lead. Achenbach having to hold off on one more. As Potter, once again, tosses over to first, keeping an eye on Cam Stewart. 4:42 on the clock here on this September the 3rd. We're about 3 hours and 10 or so minutes into this one. Been quite the long game. It all started with the combination of Donnie Murray and Devin Alexander. Neither men going past an inning and a third. Donnie Murray done after one inning. He threw 36 pitches. And then Devin Alexander went just 1.1 innings with 49 pitches. Quite the long day we've had here, but whoever comes up with the victory will have long waited, and a well-deserved one here today. Achenbach on the 1-0, looking at ball two as that one nearly clipped his helmet. He dodges out of the way of that one. He's ahead in the count here, 2-0. Achenbach with a .250 batting average coming into play today, making his 15th appearance for the Unicorns. He's got 9 hits and 36 at-bats coming into play today. Trying to get a big clutch hit here. A good gap out there in right center. See if he can put it there. The 2-0 pitch in there. A really nice frame from the catcher, Greg Jones, on that slider that fell in at 79 miles an hour. Count goes to 2-1 on Achenbach. Achenbach out of Billings, Montana, trying to give the Hoppers some insurance here. He has left the yard once on the season, but he hasn't in a long time. Count 2-1 on the batter. Keeping an eye on Stewart once again is Andrew Potter. Holding it just an extra second longer there was Willie Martin, making sure that Stewart was getting back to his feet the proper way, keeping his foot on the bag before he touches it with his hand and then takes the foot off. The right way to do it. The 2-1 pitch, slider missing outside. Just like that, Achenbach has worked a 3-1 count here. Stewart with a decent lead over at first. Potter, we'll see if he comes home with it. He does. The 3-1 pitch, fastball, that one missing high. Just like that, the second walk of the inning here for Andrew Potter brings runners to first and second. We'll see how short the leash is on Potter, as it looks like there wasn't any action roaming in that bullpen for the Unicorns. We'll see if anybody starts to get loose down there now. Only 4 bodies left down there in the left field bullpen. And it looks like there's about 3 or 4 down in the right field bullpen for the Diamond Hoppers. Bodies starting to be eliminated from this ball game as we get deeper and deeper into this one. We're in this top of the 9th inning. John Kraft standing in here for the 4th time today. He's had a really good day thus far. 2 for 3. 2 singles. He has came in to score once, drove in a run himself, and also had a walk on the day. His last at-bat, though, he flew out to center field, where Tony Rosselli currently roams the field. The 0-1 to Kraft, he fouls off. And that one goes out of play. He's quickly found himself in an 0-2 hole. Potter with a long look to second, finally comes home with it, and a nasty bending breaking ball swimming right underneath the bat of John Kraft's swinging opportunity. The second swinging strikeout of the inning for Potter is good enough for out number 2. Runners staying at first and second, and the number 9 hitter, Kyle Figueroa, stands in here for the 5th time today. Couple of sacrifice bunts that were successfully taken out by the Unicorns' third baseman, Bobby Webb. But outside of that, a single back in the 8th inning just recently for Figueroa. Couldn't drive in any runs with it as he led off that 8th inning. But a good opportunity here with runners on first and second. Got to imagine if he puts a ball in play and gets a base knock, Diamond Hoppers will try and score Cam Stewart no matter what. As they are dying for an insurance run here. They have the 8-7 lead. First pitch from Potter looks good on the outside corner. Figueroa looks at called strike 1 here. Potter, like I mentioned, in his 11th relief appearance here in a Unicorn uniform. This pitch taken with the other way. Potter with a huge fist bump after releasing that one. A line drive right to the second baseman. That was Dylan Sprague. A line out there is good enough for out number 3. And the Hoppers will try and cling on to this 1-run lead as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Unicorns trying to stay alive, in for that second place spot here in this 2017 USPBL season. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Hoppers 8-7 over the Unicorns. We head to the bottom of the 9th coming up next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially gotten down to it. Bottom of the 9th we go. An 8-7 lead for the Unicorns. Carl Bryce out for his first full inning of work. He came in to relieve Michael Stafford in that 8th inning. Got a strikeout, but a couple of runs came in to score once he was out there. Unicorns put up a 3 spot in that 8th inning as Greg Jones leads the way here for this team, as he did in that 8th inning, excuse me. Jones swings and misses at the first 2 pitches that he sees. Not an ideal start here for the Unicorns. He's down in the count here 0-2. On the afternoon, Jones 1 for 4. Has 1 single, 2 strikeouts, and grounded out to the first baseman unassisted recently in that 8th inning. Jones out of Marysville, Tennessee, trying to battle back in this count against the closer of this Eastside team. 4 saves on the season for Carl Bryce. He's in for the 4-out save here in this one, and he starts off the first batter of the 9th, Greg Jones, with a nice fastball on the outside corner. Gets him looking on 4 pitches, just like that. 1 up, 1 down here for Carl Bryce in this 9th inning. He's got to deal with Bobby Webb and Chris Cruz possibly Nico Lolio if he allows any base runners on. Wouldn't that be something if either Bobby Webb or Chris Cruz got on base and then Nico Lolio could hit his 7th home run of the season? That would be something of incredible fashion. Bobby Webb on the afternoon, 2 singles and 2 groundouts. He has hit the ball to the left side of the field every single time. Found the 5-6 hole back in the first inning and then hit one down the line in the 8th. But outside of that, he grounded out once to the third baseman and then once to the shortstop. See if he takes the ball the other way in this one. A high fly ball into center field. Back to the wall, Ian Mikowski. Can he catch it? No, he cannot. Off the wall in center field, and this ball is gone. A tie ball game. Bobby Webb with his 2nd home run of the season. And hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. We're all tied up at 8. You can't script it better than this, ladies and gentlemen. The Utica Unicorns, the 2016 USPBL champions, fighting tooth and chin through this one. They gave up 5 runs in the first inning and trailed by 4 runs going into the 8th. They put up a 3 spot in the home half of the 8th inning and a solo shot right there from Bobby Webb, his 3rd hit of the game. Good enough to tie this one at 8. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Cruz coming up to the plate. We could have a walk-off winner here. As we settle things back down, Chris Cruz looking at ball 1 high and outside, but with that, Tyler Palm no longer getting the victory here today. Donnie Murray escaping. He won't get the loss. The first pitch that Chris Cruz looks at, second one as well. He's ahead here 2-0, still looking for his first hit of the ball game. He has hit the ball into the air 3 times and then struck out swinging for out number 2 back in the 8th. One of the few men for the Unicorns to not reach base safely in that 8th inning. Everybody technically reached base safely outside of Chris Cruz, Greg Jones, and Tony Rosselli in that 8th. Outside of that, every man reached base in that 8th. And as I say that, Chris Cruz draws a 4-pitch walk. I would imagine that Carl Bryce's day possibly done. You give up a home run and then a 4-pitch walk. Man who's been there at the back end of this bullpen all season long in his 26th appearance for the Diamond Hoppers in arguably the toughest position he's been in all season long. Nico Lolio now standing in 0 for 1 on the afternoon. He came in to pinch hit for Mike Rampone back in the 6th inning. He flew out to left field for out number 2 in that 6th, but reached on a 5-pitch walk back in the 8th. Trying to give the Unicorns a victory here. It would be the walk-off variety. He's down in the count, though, 0-1. 0-1 pitch, a real nice effort there from Carl Bryce. So far inside that Lolio, the only thing he could do with it is foul it off, and it goes off of his front ankle. Part of the reason that hitters wear that protective guard around that ankle. You see it every day in the MLB. Guys in this league using it as well. Do whatever you can to try and keep yourself healthy. Obviously, we're here in game 69 of 71. Diamond Hoppers trying to cling on to this 8-7 lead. They had given up the home run off of Bobby Webb to tie this one up. If the Diamond Hoppers somehow come back and win this game, they will clinch second place. But the Unicorns, if they can pull off the victory, they will officially be tied with the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Not only that, but they have the head-to-head season record. Going over to check on the runner at first is the pitcher. That is Carl Bryce. But on the season, a crazy, crazy scenario. The Unicorns have won 13 of 22 games, so 13-9. The 0-2 pitch thrown to second base. Just in the nick of time, Chris Cruz slides in. The throw to second base out of the hand of Kyle Figueroa, just high enough for Chris Cruz to slide in there safely. It was on a line, just a little too far high. The shortstop, Ricky Castro, having to jump out of the air to catch that one. Tried to bring it down. A bang-bang play at second base. Not in time. Just like that, Chris Cruz moving himself into scoring position on the season. Chris Cruz with another stolen base. Meanwhile, Nico Lolio getting rung up on the 1-2 offer for out number 2. The second strikeout via the look here in this inning for Carl Bryce. And now Spencer Ibarra, the man of the inning in the 8th, the hero with that 2 RBI single to keep this one alive for the Utica Unicorns. He is unfortunately, for his sake, getting intentionally walked to load the bases, or to put the runners on first and second to create a force out. Smart decision there from the Eastside team, but the only negative aspect of that is they bring it back to the top of the order. Brett the Stash Balkin coming up to the plate here with an opportunity to walk off the Unicorns in dramatic fashion. So Carl Bryce out there trying to salvage himself and his team here. Brett Balkin trying to be the hero. The one thing you got to have to be here, you can't be too aggressive if you're Balkin. Bryce loves to try and pitch to swings and misses. He'll start off in the zone and then drop out. That first pitch, a slider missing the zone. Balkin was thinking about swinging at it, but held off at the last second. A ground ball to the left side. The third baseman, that was Trevor Achenbach. He initially tried to make that play at first base, but instead cannot cleanly pick up the baseball. Everybody moving up 90 feet. You would imagine that is an E5 right there. Even though he had to run a little bit to his left, that's a play that you have to make if you're Achenbach. The second error of the game for the third baseman. We shall see if that one comes back to haunt them as the Utica Unicorns have an opportunity here to win this ball game after being down 8-4 after 7 innings of play. What a day here for the Unicorns if they can pull this one off. First pitch thrown to the next batter, Dylan Sprague. A called strike on the inner half. He's down in the count here, 0-1. Sprague on the afternoon, though, a double, 2 singles, an RBI, and a run. He also has a walk to his credit. An incredible day here so far for the left-hander outside of this at-bat thus far. He looks at pitch number 2 of the at-bat right down Broadway, and he's quickly down in the count here, 0-2. Can Carl Bryce escape this jam, or will Dylan Sprague be the hero? The 0-2 pitch, slider, backdoor, ringing up is the home plate umpire. Little bit of argument there from Dylan Sprague, but he looks at called strike 3, and rightly so. A nice job from Carl Bryce, and would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen, in this decisive Game 69 of the 2017 regular season? Why not? Let's head to extras here at the Jimmy John's Field. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. ladies and gentlemen, to the 10th we go. The International Baseball extra innings rule in effect here in the USPBL. And what that means is both teams here in extra innings will start off with a runner on second base. That over there at second base looks to be, let's make sure we get this right, Ricky Castro, the batter. Over at second base, I'm assuming is number 25, it looks like. Number 25 out there for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers is Brandon Oliver. Brandon Oliver, not a starter in this game, so they must simply just put in a bench player at second to start off this top of the 10th inning. The Unicorns will do just that as well. But Ricky Castro stands in here. He fouled off the first pitch he saw with a bunt attempt. Corners in on the grass here, still expecting that bunt out of the bat of Ricky Castro. Castro showing bunt again, but he cannot get it down. Going foul for the second consecutive time here. Castro cannot lay the bunt down. And we'll see if Paul Nochi and company try to have him lay down another one. Of course, if he fouls off the third consecutive bunt attempt, he will strike out no matter what. So we'll see if they try and lay one down here. And you got to imagine Potter's probably going to throw something out of the zone as well, ahead in the count 0-2. 0-2 pitch. Oh, slider goes inside a little too far and hung up just a little too much, but Castro only able to put it down that right field line in foul territory with the swing of the bat. He's still down in the count here, 0-2. Mentioned the runner on second base is Brandon Oliver. The backdoor slider out there on the outside half. Batter Ricky Castro thought about going around, held back enough. Home plate umpire Gary Wagenschutz asking his partner out there on the base pass. He did not go around. So Castro staying alive for at least one more pitch here. Potter on the mound for his second inning of work. As he gives a long look over to the runner at second. A curveball hit foul once again softly. So Castro staying alive here for at least one more pitch. But again, ladies and gentlemen, the implications of this game, Eastside Diamond Hoppers, if they pull off the victory, will end up being the second seed outright here in this 2017 USPBL season, which means they would wait until Saturday to play the winner of the fourth place team and the third place team. The Mammoths awaiting to see who they will play as well in game one of the playoffs, as Ricky Castro once again fouls off a pitch. Castro on the day, 0 for 3, reached on 2 walks back in the first and second innings, but since then a pop out to shortstop, a strikeout, and he reached once on an error back in the 8th. The next pitch hit up the middle. Potter lets it go off of his body, using himself as a brick wall right there. He seems perfectly fine. The adrenaline pumping through his veins. He barely even felt that one. But a great job there from Andrew Potter on that comebacker to retire Ricky Castro in that long, egregious at-bat.
Now batting number 13, Joe Maroney.
So technically 1 up, 1 down, but the runner still out there on second base is Brandon Oliver. He is waiting to come in to score. And now Joe Maroney. He was a pinch hitter yesterday for Ian Mikowski. Came in late in the 8th inning, reached on a 4-pitch walk. Pinch hitting here again, trying to be the hero for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Ian Mikowski's day officially done here. Mikowski on the afternoon was 2 for 4. Had a double, a single, a run scored, an RBI. Reached on a fielder's choice, grounded out to second once, and then had a sacrifice bunt that could not bring in a run in that 8th inning. Maroney looking at ball 1 to start off the at-bat, and then looking at ball 2 quickly here as that one misses high. Maroney, just like yesterday, starting off his at-bat with 2 straight balls to his credit. See if he takes the bat off his shoulders here. Number 13, short guy out there out of Pleasanton, California, trying to get the job done here. The 2-0 pitch from Potter missing outside as well. And as I say that, the comeback to Potter, a little bit of miscommunication between the pitcher and catcher. Everybody seems to be just fine, though. 3-0 is the count, though, on Joe Maroney, who could possibly work a 4-pitch walk here for the second consecutive day. Potter with the 3-0 pitch. You don't see that too often. A breaking ball on a 3-0 count. Falls in the zone for called strike one. And we'll see if Potter tries to stick with that route against Joe Maroney. 3 fastballs. Can't get him for strikes. Why not go the opposite way? See if he goes back to the off-speed stuff. Potter, meanwhile, giving a long look over there to Oliver at second. Long enough for Maroney to call time. Readjust in there at the plate. Get the batting gloves tightened back up. Count is 3-1 on Maroney in his first plate appearance here this afternoon. The 3-1 pitch from Andrew Potter, too far outside with the off-speed at 78 miles an hour. The one-out walk brings runners to first and second here. And now coming up to the plate, John Mencken, the right fielder here for this Eastside team on the afternoon. How about this? John Mencken with 3 walks, one of them intentional. He also had popped out to second base in the second and then singled back in the 4th inning. He came in to score in the 1st inning and the 7th when he was driven in by an RBI single off the bat of Mark Kruger. But trying to get the RBI here is Mencken. Mencken, meanwhile, leading this USPBL currently with 9 home runs. So that you got to keep in mind out here with him standing at the plate with 2 men on. Potter, first pitch, fastball right down Broadway. Mencken looking at it, trying to get a groove here against Potter. This is technically the second at-bat that Mencken has had, but the first one he didn't even see a pitch. He was intentionally walked back in that 8th inning. Potter sat on the mound, ready to deliver the 0-1 pitch. Fastball outside corner, enough for called strike 2. Mencken might have been looking for something off speed those last 2 pitches because both of those fastballs, he was just sitting. And he has now dug himself into an 0-2 count. Got to imagine Potter's either going to go with a high fastball to try and get him to chase or something in the dirt. Both will be out of the strike zone here. The last thing you want to do is leave something over the plate for Mencken to take hold of. Little break in the action is Mencken calling time, trying to stay in this mentally. So much at stake here for both of these teams. The difference between being a third-place team and a second-place team, just 1 day difference in the playoffs here in the USPBL, but that 1 day could mean everything when it comes to being the championship here in 2017. Mencken, meanwhile, staying alive on the 0-2 offer. Pitch that fell out of the zone at the last second, looked good out of the hand of Potter. Mencken sticking that bat out there at the very last second, fouling it down that right field line and out of play. He's still alive here, but deep, deep into this 0-2 count. A big gap into right center field. Rosselli and Chris Cruz giving a lot of way out there to the deepest part of the ballpark in right center field. Potter as well as Greg Jones having a conversation on the mound now. Want to make sure they're on the same page on this 0-2 pitch. Obviously with the runner over there at second base, that's Oliver. With more signs being shown here from the catcher, you want to make sure you're on the same page. Last thing you want to see is a miscue between the battery here and the runner going from first and second to second and third. No throw from the catcher on the 0-2 offer. It looked really good from up here, but Gary Wagenschutz not ringing him up there. Both Oliver as well as Joe Maroney moving up in this one. Runners now at second and third. The count 1-2 on Mencken. So now the force out of play here. If I'm Andrew Potter, I'm looking to go right at Mencken myself. You do not want to see a ball get put into play here. Even if a high fly ball is hit, that could be a run here for the Diamond Hoppers. Potter with a deep breath on the mound, brings that front leg up, throws a fastball hit to the right side. This is going to be good enough for the Hoppers to get a run, but a force out at first base retires Mencken. 4-3 put out, good enough for him to bring in a run, and just like that, the Diamond Hoppers take the 9-8 lead. 2 down on the board here. Hoppers taking that 9-8 lead. As Brandon Oliver comes in to score. Talked about how the rule, the International Baseball extra innings rule, both teams with an opportunity to start with a runner on second base with nobody out in this extra inning affair. We'll see if the Unicorns can get out of this jam. They gave up the 1 run that Oliver had scored on. But they are trying to limit the damage here. Esteban Gomez, the batter now. First pitch, he fouls off in the at-bat. Down in the count, he is 0-1. Potter, the delivery, the 0-2 or the 0-1, fouled off once again, and quickly Gomez has found himself in a 0-2 hole. Gomez with an opportunity to give his team an extra insurance run as they lead it 9-8 in this top of the 10th inning. The 0-2 bending breaking ball at 79 miles an hour out of the right hand of Andrew Potter once again for the third consecutive time, getting fouled off here by the left-hander Esteban Gomez, who celebrated a birthday yesterday, went 2 for 4 against the Woolly Mammoths, had 2 singles, an RBI, and a stolen base to his credit, but could have arguably the biggest hit of his entire USPBL season right here if he can put it in play. The 0-2 pitch, high fastball, out of the zone. Potter trying to get Esteban Gomez to chase after it. He does not, though. The count going to 1-2 on the left-hander. The 1-2 out of the hand of Potter. Swing and miss on that breaking ball. Potter gets out of the jam. Unicorns are going to try and get a run out of this one. Potter not too thrilled with some of those calls from the home plate umpire, but either way, Eastside getting an extra run in the top of the 10th inning. We head to the home half. Unicorns will try and come back here once again. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We head to this home half of the 10th inning. Utica Unicorns had gotten 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th. 1 run via a solo shot off the bat of Bobby Webb to tie this one up. But with this international baseball extra innings rule, both teams in extra innings will start off with a runner on second base. The man at the plate for the Unicorns, that is Willie Martin. Over there on second base, that is number 9, Dylan Sprague. Sprague with the last out in that 9th inning. He struck out looking on 3 straight pitches. But an opportunity here for the Unicorns to try and come back into this one. Don Warner, the next arm on the mound for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers on the season. This is just his 6th overall appearance, an 8.21 ERA in 5 games in relief. He's thrown in just 7.2 innings while giving up 4 walks, 9 hits, and has 4 strikeouts to his credit this season. Willie Martin down in the count here, 0-1 in this righty-righty matchup. Don Warner with that high leg kick initially, comes set, brings it back down, and then brings that leg back up again, sort of resetting himself, something that you don't really pay attention to that often, but it's something that sometimes messes with a hitter's approach at the plate. One of the littlest things in a pitcher's motion that could catch a batter off guard. The count 0-2 on Willie Martin. Runner on second is Dylan Sprague. 0-2 pitch. Initially, Willie Martin was trying to hold off. Held that bat about halfway, but the baseball ricocheting off the bat and going foul out of play. .517 on this Sunday, September the 3rd. This ball game started at 1:35. We're about an hour and 45 minutes in, or excuse me, 3 hours and 45 minutes into this one. The 0-2 pitch to Martin, missing just inside. Wagon shuts, the home plate umpire holding his ground back there behind home plate. A couple of questions coming from that first base side from the Hoppers dugout. Wagon shut shaking his head up and down, saying that it just missed inside. So Martin stays alive for at least one more pitch here. Warner with the look to second, the pitch towards home, and Martin once again fouling off a pitch, staying alive here. Willie Martin coming into this at-bat, just one hit on the day through 5 at-bats, 4 total appearances, as he did get a 4-pitch walk back in the 8th inning, but fouls off a 4th pitch in this at-bat. The count is 1-2, but he has seen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pitches thus far in this tough initial battle. Start this bottom of the 10th inning. Want to remind you guys, the runner on second base, that is Dylan Sprague. The final out in the 9th inning, as the 1-2 pitch to Willie Martin ends up getting called strike 3, but having to go to first with it for the third and final part of that put out. Willie Martin ends up going down via the strikeout, but because the catcher, that was Mr. Kyle Figueroa, he had to throw that ball over to first base. He was initially checking on Sprague, but Sprague doing a good job going to third base the second that ball was thrown towards first base. Sprague with enough speed gets over to third. Just one out here on the board. Diamond Hoppers with a big, big stop here that they desperately need. They pull off the victory here today. They will become the number 2 seed behind the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers. Paul Noce, the manager of this Eastside team, out there to talk with his pitcher Don Warner, as well as the entire infield here for the Diamond Hoppers. Clearly with the situation at hand, Diamond Hoppers up 9-8 in this bottom of the 10th inning. A runner on third base. Of course, the entire infield now in here on the infield. They cannot allow Sprague to come in to score. Rosselli, the batter, meanwhile, looking at ball 1, starting off his at-bat. Rosselli on the afternoon, 0 for 3, but did have 2 sacrifice flyouts through the first 2 innings. A couple RBIs on the day for Rosselli, with an opportunity to get the other RBI. Would you look at that? The third baseman, Trevor Achenbach, catches one on a line and doubles off the runner at third. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers hold on to the 9-8 victory on the double play and move as the second seed into the playoffs here in this 2017 USPBL season. We weren't sure what we were going to see in those extra innings, but just like that, it all ends in the blink of an eye. The final here today, Eastside Diamond Hoppers defeating the Utica Unicorns 9-8 in 10 innings. And just like that, the Diamond Hoppers moving to 27-24 on the year. Good enough for second place overall. They officially clinched themselves that number 2 seed and will play on Saturday when the winner of the Woolly Mammoths and Utica Unicorns play. That first game of the playoffs will be on Friday after the final regular season game this upcoming Thursday. We do have a game tomorrow to celebrate Labor Day, but like I mentioned, no more games mattering here in this regular season, as every position has been clinched. The 1 through 4 seeds official as of the final here today. Beavers clinched the 1 seed last night when the Diamond Hoppers lost to the Woolly Mammoths, but the Hoppers coming back here today. They got 5 runs in the first inning, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 7th, but that win coming in extra innings here today. Unicorns getting defeated and being put into that 3rd place spot. What an exciting game here at Jimmy John's Field in Game 69 of 71. Through a bunch of ups and downs for both of these teams, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers end up victorious by a final of 9-8 and will be the number 2 seed in the playoffs when it is all starting here. Game 69 was a lot of fun here, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you join us for Game 70 tomorrow. Same time, 1:35. The winning pitcher, let's double check this real quick. We were tied going into this 10th inning. Looks like Andrew Potter is going to end up getting the loss, and then the victory going to John Warner of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. He gets his first win of the season. But once again, your final 9-8 in favor of the Diamond Hoppers. We hope you had fun as much as I did here in this one. Thank you all for listening. For Rich Borland and the entire crew here at the USPBL, we say thank you, and we hope you join us tomorrow. First pitch at 1:35, and tomorrow's game we will have the, let's double check this, the Beavers and Unicorns playing tomorrow. So we hope you join us. Thanks to you all for listening. You're listening to the USPBL YouTube channel.